is no more. And from all you have said, like politicians say, they make big promises. Everything you've been saying, we will want to see that come to life. But the thing is, you have not disassociated yourself with this administration that you're in. A lot of people say that Enugu has been dirty, very, very dirty, because you were in this government, you know, and Enugu has all the mess littered the whole street. That's number one. Please, you have to clarify on that and what you're going to do about that. Number two is, how are you going to put women in your cabinet? I haven't heard you say you're going to include women in your cabinet, because when you empower women, you're going to get a thriving economy, a good state. They will see to the affairs of women and children in our coal city, and the health for everybody, health care. Enugu is a state where civil servants, they retire. There is no industry there. So the young boys and young girls, those who graduated, what are you going to do? And this crime, people on bikes stealing and killing, I want you to talk about it.
My sister, please, let's try and keep
Then I
question.
like 5 questions, even me where they right.
I just
Okay, sorry.
because I stand like
Crime,
this, so I don't know where I'm
I'm
people
so
on
passionate
bikes,
about
disassociate yourself. You don't read like 6.
it. No verse. And
going.
then the
Please.
last one, which he mentioned. No,
One
no,
more.
no verse, no verse.
Oka for one,
Oh,
oka for.
Okay. If you're going to reorientate the police force, we know that they're all corrupt. Once you become the governor, what changes are you going to do with the police force? Because they need reorientation. They need the police stations to be up and doing with computers to impute crime data, like have data up to date where people.
Is it me?
It's not you, brother. Probably got a call. All right then. Ogami, I don't know if you are.
Let him just answer
Yes,
the
yes,
ones that he
fantastic.
has.
Were you writing those down, sir?
I'm done. He can answer now. Thank
Okay,
you.
fantastic. Did you write
Okay,
all of
thank
that down?
you. Yes, they are in my head.
Fantastic. Continue, sir.
She thought I should have dissociated myself from the government. I'm running on a Labour Party platform. There's the PDP government in place, and we are planning to remove them. And I've told the world what I'm going to do differently. So I think for now that should be sufficient. The environment issues he brought in, maybe as a way of implying that was Commissioner for Environment and the place is dirty. When you become a commissioner, you are given your mandate. You are clearly itemized. What is your mandate as commissioner? When I was commissioner for environment, and even now, the function of the commissioner for environment does not include waste disposal. There's a body created by law, NSWAMA. NSWAMA is the body charged by law in Enugu State to evacuate waste, to manage waste. When I become governor, I'm going to reinvigorate. Because what happens now is that even NSWAMA, that is charged by law and has the necessary mechanisms within its enclosure, for instance, the vehicles, institutional memory in terms of personnel, NSWAMA is being sidelined in Enugu State. The management of waste, the evacuation of waste, disposal of waste in Enugu State is controlled directly from Government House by the Chief of Staff, the Office of Chief of Staff, Mr. Festus Suzo. And he does that in conjunction with about 8 other persons. One of them is Honorable Nwoye, Tony Nwoye, and a few other persons. One of them, I cannot remember their names down. There are people who manage the evacuation of waste in Enugu. The payment is made directly from Government House, and I can say clearly that no commissioner for environment before me has been charged with managing waste. So when I become governor, I'm going to make sure that SWAMA is properly reinvigorated, because that is where the institutional memory, that is where the knowledge, that is where the capacity to evacuate waste inheres. There are several vehicles parked there. They're not being used. Some of them are damaged, just needing minor repair. So, but they're not put in use. So the personnel that is trained to evacuate waste is abound in Enugu State, but they're not being used. The machines that were purchased purposely to evacuate waste in Enugu State are not being used. So I'm going to, as a first step, reinvigorate SWAMA. I am also going to make sure that the right personnel are put in place. When Mrs. Anajemba, for instance, was appointed the head of SWAMA in Enugu State, there was universal uproar in the sense that, and rightly so, because she had no track record of performance in that industry. She was a notable hotelier, but that hotelier business does not translate to expertise in environmental management. So I'm going to look for the right person to head the SWAMA agency and charge them with the responsibility of immediately making Enugu State look neat again. Under Sullivan, Enugu State looked neat because the right personnel were deployed, and the governor himself was minded about the neatness of the place and gave marching orders. And also, some regulations were put in place with regards to environmental waste management. One of which is that timing. There must be a time which all waste should be brought together, and within that time they will be evacuated. Now, this time, that one does not operate again, and people bring in willy-nilly. We're also going to respond proactively to the expansion of Enugu, because once those problems began all over Nigeria, especially insecurity, there was a large movement, on planned movement, you say, into Enugu urban. And so the evacuation, the waste that was being generated stripped the capacity of government to evacuate those waste. And then the major landmine, or what the major place of deposit for the proper phrase has escaped my mind now. But the major place where waste were disposed in Enugu, just one place in Obia, in a Enugu South area, government converted it to a residential place. And so there's no place for disposal of waste in Enugu State. And then that's what has also created a problem, because every waste in Enugu urban were channeled to the Onyama Road area, the Federal Express, and also those things were banned. The international situation in regards to environmental to waste disposal does not accept that waste should be burnt. It's dangerous. Dangerous acids in the process put out into the atmosphere, and it has created a permanent gloom around that area. When I was commissioner for local government, I sensed there was a need to decentralize waste management. I quickly moved to create a bylaw. I got the Ministry of Justice to create a bylaw that decentralized waste management, that made waste management the responsibility of local councils. But that idea did not receive the approval of the governor. When I was commissioner for environment, I know that I went to the governor and complained about the nature of the deteriorating nature of our environment, and the governor told me that his emphasis was on rural roads. That rather that he would prefer to put more money on rural roads than on environmental and waste management. So when I become governor, I'm going to focus with a laser beam on immediate evacuation of waste in Enugu State. We're also going to locate land sites, they call it, where those wastes will be evacuated. We're also going to accelerate the training of residents to isolate waste, because everything is just dumped into one carton. Bottles, broken bottles, plastics, papers, everything that should be disaggregated in Enugu State, even in Nigeria, are dumped into one carton. So it makes the segregation of waste difficult. It makes waste recycling difficult. We're also going to have waste officers who are responsible for sanitation. Immediately after the war, there were sanitary officers who go around making sure that everything is prim and proper. We're also going to create waste sanitation courts, make them mobile. When I was commissioner for environment, I revived the environmental court in Enugu State, only one within the Ministry of Environment, to address issues of nuisance mainly. But we are going to have mobile courts, mobile sanitation courts, to make sure that persons who abuse the environment, who drop things from vehicles, from moving kepe. If you live in Enugu or move around, you see persons who, after eating their takeaway foods in their kake, gleefully, casually drop the waste on the main road. Nobody stops them. Nobody punishes them. Maybe they don't even know that what they are doing is not right, because the urban space it becomes home to even those who inhabit the 19th century and those who inhabit the 21st century in terms of attitudes and values. So, which means that orientation and reorientation, and information and teaching on radio and using other media should become a veritable source of waste management. People must know that we don't have to live like animals. You must not live like animals. The idea of people even keeping the environment clean must come back, and this will have to do by putting out several sanitation officers or environmental health officers to go around and make sure that people keep their places clean. And when these wastes are assembled, there must be places where they are dumped. And those places where they are dumped can also be a veritable source for this appropriation of several materials that should be recycled. When I was Commissioner for Environment, I encouraged waste packers, I encouraged young boys to set up waste recycling businesses, and some of them is thriving. One of them is located in ShopRite area. I encouraged them, supported them. I also encouraged the Association of Waste Packers. But the thing is that even in Enugu State here, there is no big place where waste are recycled. Everything is packed and taken to Lagos. So I'm going to encourage our young people. I'm going to encourage our entrepreneurs to come home to Enugu and establish waste recycling businesses. I'll support them with infrastructure. I'll support them with land. I'll support them with necessary facilities to make sure that several waste recycling businesses thrive. I'm also going to decentralize waste management, waste collection and waste management in Enugu State, so that local governments are charged with responsibility. Really, waste management is a function of the local government by constitution, and the states appropriate them, maybe because of monetary reasons. So she also asked about women empowerment. I'm fully conscious of the women issue, both as a journalist and a scholar of women engagement, women involvement over history. The Beijing position of women, what the law says about gender equity in Nigeria. As a scholar of public human rights international law, I'm also minded that women must be carried along for society to be fully functional. Women are also sources, even in philosophy and in religion and in biology. Women are necessary and vital. I respect women. I adore them, and we're going to make sure that they are accommodated, even as regards within what the law says. The law gives a specific percentage of women that can be what they should be, what they should have in government. My government will look at the laws and be compliant with what the law says, and even go beyond. But the tune is not really to focus on women. If you create a good society, everybody will thrive. They will survive. If you create hospitals that are nice, that are okay, women will also thrive. So we're going to create an environment where people are allowed to attain their potentialities. We're also going to look at what the law says, what the international conventions say, what the national laws say, what the local laws say about the place of women, about the place of youth, about the place of young girls in every situation, and apply them
Senator, how many
accordingly.
percentage of women, you're on a recorded space, how many percentage of women would you be giving would you be giving positions in your cabinet, and how many percentage of youth, putting youth at an age between 35 downwards to about 2021? Can you commit
What
to
I'm
an
going to
answer
do,
here?
I promise you, is to look at what the law says. I don't have exactly the percentage in my head, but I'll be guided by what the law says. There are laws on what percentage of women should be accommodated at any point in time. I don't have it in my head, but I'll be guided by what the laws passed by our parliament, both at Abuja and maybe in Enugu. I'll be guided and I'll follow it religiously. And also try to support what the law says. So if you just do what the law says, it means you are just being minimalistic. But I appreciate that women are a strong breed. I appreciate the role of
Excuse
women
me,
as
sir. I
mobilized.
can help you with what the law says.
Yeah,
Can you hear me? A quick Google search will show you
yeah,
that the court ordered the Nigerian government in April 6th of 2022 under the affirmative
yes,
action to implement the
yes,
national gender policy, which provides for the allocation of 35% of all appointments to women. A federal high court in Abuja said this, and they ordered the federal government to enforce the national gender policy by allotting 35% of appointments in the public sector to women. All right. So you're already at least at 35%. Do you approve of that? Yes or no?
within the Enugu situation, I will try to apply the law.
Thank you very much. That's as good
I,
as an answer I'll work with. Somebody here,
Okay.
Savik.
Hello.
Savik, you can go up
Yeah.
next, sir.
Thank you so much, Sizu, and thank you so much, the honorable that is here with us, the governorship candidate for Labour Party in Enugu State. My own is one of the reasons why some of us are rooting for you is just because that you had the foresight of joining Labour Party, right? And we are looking at Labour Party as a party that is going to drive that change that we require in Nigeria at the moment. And we need to begin to build people around that our principal's foresight and what he plans for Nigeria. So I want you to kind of give us your word, because one of the reasons why a lot of us are dear to Pt2 is because of what he achieved in Anambra State, because of the person he is, because of his empathy, because of he is someone that has conquered greed. So I want you to give everybody listening to you right now your word to tell us that you are going to look at Pt2's antecedents, what he has achieved in Anambra State and every space of life that he has worked in, both in private sector when he was in banking and when he was in in some of other businesses that he has done, and tell us here that you are going to be guided by those antecedents and that you are going to conduct your affairs as a governor, because we know you are going to win. We know you are going to win. But we want you to tell us that the antecedent of Pt2, the new Nigeria that we are actually rooting for, that you are going to be an exemplary for that. Thank you so much, sir.
thank you. Thank you, my dear brother. Pt2 is a role model. He did tremendously well in Anambra State. I like the fact that he did not allocate not one single government land to himself. He did not allocate not even one single government building to himself. When you compare him to Enugu State, where Sullivan Chime converted the biggest estate that belongs to Enugu State to himself, you will see that he's exemplary. Pt2 left a huge amount of money, $75 million or something like that, for the government that
Naira, sir.
succeeded him.
75 billion naira, sir.
Is it bill? I mean, I thought it was $1 million.
75
Billion
billion
naira.
naira. Billion naira, sir.
75 billion naira and over 100 and something $million.
Over 100. I thought it was $75 million. Okay, over substantial amount of money he left for the government that succeeded him. Compare him to Sullivan Chime, who left a huge amount of debt for the government that succeeded him. In all ramifications, Pt2 was exemplary. Is exemplary, even in private business where he rose to the top, and in government where he made indelible marks. I think he adopted the SDG, or I think the SDG as his guiding principle. So there was always issues of high standards, ethics, and ethically, a man of integrity, and he fought or fended off the what you call the Godfathers. He was also parsimonious in government. He was not flamboyant. He didn't ride a lot of vehicles. When he entered the plane, he carried his own bag and sat in economy and did very well, using all indicators factored in. Edoga has a similar record of performance in everywhere he has done. I was elected chairman of issues of local government, my home LGA, in 1997. In the 14 months I was chairman, I did things that remain unforgettable. For instance, I met 9 months of arrears of salaries. I wiped out those arrears of salaries. At the same time, I continued paying the salaries of the that came up in the 14 months I was there. So not only did I pay 14 months of salaries, I wiped out the arrears of salaries that were there before I came. In the 14 months that I was chairman, I started and completed a major installation of lights, poles and lights in my community, which is the biggest community in the whole of Isuzo. As I was paying the salary of staff, I was also deducting money to pay to REEB on a monthly arrangement. In the 14 months of my chairmanship of Isuzo, I started and completed a daily market. Before I became chairman, a Hamufu, which is the major town in Isuzo, was serviced only every 4 days. They will come alive on a K day. After that, that town will go to sleep. In 14 months, I started a daily market, and completed it. Properly designed by an architect and fully built and fully lit up. In 14 months, I started a 25-kilometer road from Nkalago to Ihamufu. Before then, the road was completely closed to traffic, and people going to Ihamufu found the traffic difficult to navigate. And students going to the federal school there found it difficult to go to school. They resorted to using Okada. In 14 months, I did that 25-kilometer road. And the provost of that college, late Nadozie, wrote me a letter, which I still have now. He said, Edoga, in all my life, I've never met somebody like you, who says he will do something and he did it. The staff of the college is happy with you. The students are happy with you. The management is happy with you. In 14 months, I started under more than 15 kilometers of road. What was a track road became a major road that linked Neke to a Handiagu, to what we call a Halomona on the Federal Express. The Halomona is somewhere around UNN. So I linked my community issues, my LGA, to under issues. A Handiagu and a Halomona are both in local government. Meanwhile, my LGA is issues. So I opened a track record that connected 2 communities in 2 LGAs. On the basis of that, Chief Abangu, who was a foremost political leader in the Suka zone, crowned me the Onwan Etira, the moon that shines for all, if a Halmona. When I was chairman, I met a rickety 504 wagon as the official car, as what was available in that space. All the other chairmen in that time, all of them, all my colleagues opted to buy a brand new 504 from somewhere in Zik Avenue. I'm the only chairman out of that 17 who refused to buy a brand new 504. Not only did they buy that brand new 504, the proprietor of that business gave each chairman the sum of 250,000 naira as kickback. I rejected that 250,000. I didn't buy a new 504. I rather ploughed that money into development of my local government. I had to resort to a 504 that I bought at the cost of 250,000 second hand when the wagon could not take me any further. I collaborated fully with the Carter Center in making sure that guinea worm, which was endemic in issues, was eliminated under my watch as chairman. I served only for 14 months, and if I continue now, I will not remember. I cannot count everything I did. I went to the House of Representatives. I became the spokesman for National Assembly. Before I went there was nothing like the spokesman for National Assembly. And that spokesman came with risks because it was Obasanjo's presidency. And the spokesman for that NABA parliament meant that I was going to be at loggerheads with Obasanjo. But Obasanjo probed me, checked my background, and if there was anything that was untoward, Obasanjo would have dealt with me. And there was nothing, and I fought him, that dictatorship, that era. I also brought to my community, the community that was not going to have light. I gave them light. Umairo was inaccessible and difficult and remote. Part of my constituency project was electricity, complete electrification of Umairo. I am ascetic like Pt2. I am not flamboyant like Pt2. I can also account for. In fact, it's known in Enugu State that Edoga has no watches. Edoga has no money, and I've lived virtually all my life in public service, in public eye. So Pt2 is a major star, but there are other small Pt2s in Nigeria. I think it is this aggregation of these small Pt2s that have made the obedient movement a force that it has become. In Enugu State, people know me as somebody who is a small P2B in Enugu State. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, I just want to ask you a quick question. If you could give me the answer in just one sentence, sir. Do you have a godfather?
God in heaven is my godfather.
Thank you very much. All right, let's move on real quick. Dr. Viva.
Sorry, I've been here for a while.
Hello, good evening. Yes.
Please let your question be as direct and short as possible. Thank you.
Okay. Well done,
All right.
sir.
Good evening, sir. We're very happy to have you here. I feel it takes a lot.
Hello?
Sorry, Tony, it's not your time. Dr. Viva, after Dr. Viva, I'll come back to you, Tony. Dr. Viva, go ahead.
Dr. Viva, go on, please.
Okay. Honorable Chijioke, well done for all the questions you've answered. I have very few questions on health, on the health system of Enugu
Just
State.
one question, please. Go ahead. Just one question. Thank you.
Okay. I actually have a lot of questions, but let me just summarize.
You can ask him the most important question because we have
all of them are very important.
Find
But
the most important for you, please. We have a whole lot of unasked questions. And please, if you could circle down your questions, not questions that we have asked or people have asked before. So let's try and narrow down the whole conversation quick. Thank you very much.
All right. So I trained in Enugu State, in Parkland, Enugu State College of Medicine. So I understand the health system of Enugu State, and I understand the challenges. One of the major challenges is, number one, we've gone back from maternal and child health, from where Sullivan set us. During Sullivan's era, maternal during childbirth, that's maternal health, it was free, but it's no longer like that. That's one. So please, what are you going to do in that era? Then the second one is primary health care. Primary health care is the health care that assesses the health system, how well the health system of any place, any state, or any locality, or any nation is doing. And our own is in shambles. Primary health care, I mean the health centers in the villages. The government, they don't even care at all. Some of the health centers in the villages, some of them don't even have HU. Some of them don't even have registered nurses. So the people in those localities are suffering. Some of those health centers, if you go there, you cannot even see paracetamol. Some of them are in very bad state. So this is not about the general health, these hospitals in town. So the second one is, what are your plans towards polishing our primary health care? This third one is, before
Dr. Viva,
please, this one is very, very important. Please,
you can ask that one first, Dr. Viva.
Please, this third one is very important. Please, I'm begging. That there is a building opposite what's the name of this church? All Saints. That church, that building during Sullivan's era, that building was built when I was when I was a medical student, our provost told us that the aim of that building was to be the diagnostic center of Enugu State. Because if you come to Parkland, which is the state teaching hospital, we don't have any diagnostic machine like CT scan, even X-ray was not functioning then, and up till now it's not functioning. The ultrasound was just one machine, so things were so bad. So the Enugu State Teaching Hospital was hoping, that Sparkling was hoping, that when that diagnostic center comes, that we can have machines like MRI, CT scan that will be subsidized for patients, because these things are extremely expensive and some people cannot really afford it. But guess what? When the last governor came, he converted that diagnostic center. Instead of him to put the equipment, he converted it to Photoshop. It's only photo shoots they do there, and
Please,
the aim of that
question,
place.
please,
Okay,
question.
so I want to ask, please, what is your plan towards that idea of a diagnostic center for Enugu? A diagnostic center that could serve the purpose of subsidizing tests like CT scan, MRI, all these tests that are very, very expensive that patients cannot even really afford. Some patients cannot afford this. So, what are your plans? Generally, what is your plan towards health? But these three ones, they are
Thank
very
you,
important
thank you,
to me. Thank you.
thank you. All right, Mr. Chijoke, please can go on, please. Thank you.
Sirdam, hold on. Mr. Chidoke, before you go ahead, please, guys, look, one question per person, I beg. Because if you do three, someone else too will come and claim that one person don't do three, they won't do three. Please, one question per person, I beg. Thank you. You can go ahead now, sir. Thank you.
Okay, let me go from the particular to the universal. She mentioned the diagnostic center. I think the problem is really that of focus. Because when I was in the ESCO of the current governor of Enugu State, the issue of that center came up severally. I think part of the problem was that several machines that were outdated, I think, were imported by the by the Cuban government, and they were not going to be functional before they even came home. They were already bad, and there are issues of cost and all that. So we wondered exactly how to put that place into use. If the government takes it over, it will still just become another government's property that will not function. We even, I think, at a point we advertised internationally for a group that will come and manage it. Eventually, when that major illness came, COVID came, it was used as a COVID center. Shortly before I left government, I think one of the federal agencies under OGI, this national agency that is involved in infrastructure, OGI here, took it over. They handed it to a federal agency. I don't know how far that thing is gone, but I know that if for instance, leadership is focused on getting things done immediately and fast, all those rigmarole would have gone. Of course, we need a diagnostic center. I had to become very ill in Enugu State for me to realize that Enugu State does not have a very good. The healthcare system in Enugu is abysmal, and the key to recovering in health, or to even assessing one's health situation, is the diagnosis. So, but that diagnostic center may be, most likely, if I become governor or when I become governor, will be handed over to a private person, a PPP person. It will be handed over on a PPP basis, so that people have the expertise or the knowledge and resources will come and partner with the government. Maybe with the government providing us that space, and the person taking it over to run, because we are going to try to reduce the burden on government, because things are not getting any better in terms of finances. So we are going to look for somebody who has the competence, who has the resources, or the franchise to do a very good center. Then the private health situation in Enugu is horrible. It's something that worries me every day. I've even had to go to all those hospitals, take pictures and circulate them. I've even had to organize, look at the literature available. The problem is even nationwide. I think that son or one other paper not too long ago did a national survey of the primary health situations. Many of them are as bad as Enugu State is. I'm not making any excuses, but what I'm going to do is to create model health. Those primary health centers ideally are even under the supervision of the local government systems. But there's a mixture, a problem. The state government is involved, the LGAs are involved. So we're going to streamline things. We're going to make sure, for instance, I will return them, put them squarely under the authority of local government council chairman or local government. Once you would resolve the issue of the ambiguity about who owns it and who controls it, part of the problem will resolve. In that way, the governor or the commissioner for local government can have proper oversight on, or commissioner can have proper oversight over what happens there. But the governor himself, providing leadership, must insist that the environment first of those primary health centers become what any reasonable person can identify with. The environment of all of them are in a sorry state. So we are going to create model centers and then ask the administrators to begin to build those primary health centers in line with those models. We are going to make sure that the environments are neat. The houses are there, the structure is big, but the environment is very dirty. Inside, there are no beds, there are no nurses. Nurses are attached to those hospitals, but they don't go to work and nobody monitors them. Even when they go to work, there are no resources. There is no beds, there are no hospitals, there's nothing to work with. So we are going to make sure that those places are made habitable and they look good. We are going to work on the environment, the outer environment. We are going to work on the inside environment, provide beds, provide all the necessary things that make hospital worthwhile. Then we'll supply medicine. We also make sure, insist, through monitoring and by punishment, that those who don't come to work are smoked out and punished. And those who are dedicated may be drawn from the communities where those hospitals are located, are given pride of place. But perhaps the important thing is to check and check and check so that absenteeisms are detected and punished. We're also going to make sure or insist that the money is generated. Part of the problem is money. Under Ifeanyi administration, all the monies that are collected, received from hospitals, are taken up to the center. So nothing is left for those hospitals to run themselves. So we're going to make sure that the monies generated through the payments made for cards are retained. Some of them are retained in hospitals to help to run the place, so that rudimentary things that needs to be done in hospitals are done from money that is generated. So we are going to post staff who come from those areas. We are going to make sure that that staff is going to go to work. We are also going to make sure that the environment is clean and hospitable and are properly maintained. But in order to do that, we cannot do the whole everything once. We take them one by one. It will take time, but once we start all over the 17 LGAs, give the council chairman marching orders, follow up on by checking out that those things are followed, then work out arrangements to make those places really full hospitals, because many of them they don't have laboratories. Many of them there are no pharmacies. So we're going to make arrangements to incorporate laboratories and pharmacies in those places to make them full hospitals. Maternal health care, those who can pay will pay. Those who cannot pay will be subsidized. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Tony Cole.
Hello. Yeah, Minister.
Please,
Okay.
if you're not called, please do not omit. Please, I'm going to get to you, please. Thank you, Mr. Tony. Go on.
Hello.
Tony, are you there?
Oh, sorry. You mean Okay. Thank you, Emir Saddam. Thank you, Sir, Mr. Chijoke. We're very happy that you're here and you're engaging us, and that's what we need in this era where leaders can engage citizens and we're able to pour out our mind and what we need. Now, I'm going to be very quick because of others. It's a very, very popular saying that Southeasterners or the Igbos are not united. And whenever I hear that, I tell people, I say, it's not the Igbos that are not united, it's our leaders that are not united. And you can see, if you do a little bit of research from the way we vote, you see we vote in block and we vote who we want to vote. But our leaders are not. Can you hear me? I don't know if.
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay,
I'm
Straight
okay.
to
following
the
you.
question,
So
please.
yes, so our leaders are the ones who are not united, and we could see that even in this election that happened some days ago. Now, to my question, if you notice during the last 7 years of this administration and even other administrations, the Southeasterners have been, pushed aside. There's no big or key federal investment in the Southeast. There's no key infrastructure. Even the roads are bad. And the big issues we have, like erosions and all that, they're not being handled by the government. I don't want to go. I don't want to take our time and just I want to go straight to my question, so I don't take our time. Now, a key thing in this administration would be lobbying. Knowing the kind of president we're going to have, Mr. Pt2, he's a national kind of president. He's not an ethnic kind of president. So he would want to be fair to everyone at the same time. But my question to you now is, if you get elected as a governor of Enugu State, what will you do together with your other fellow brother governors to lobby and request for key infrastructures, things like seaports, to be built in the Southeast, being that lots of Southeasterners are into importing and exporting, and we need these seaports in our place. It's a lot of sacrifice we've made over the years, where we have to go to other regions, and we are even threatened in those regions that, you know what, if you do this or do that, we'll kick you out and you have no place to get your goods or send your goods. When would we have a seaport in Southeast? Because I know our principal was talking about building one in the South, which is a good idea because, he has a nationalistic kind of plan. But what would you do with your fellow brother governors to unite together and lobby the president, Peter Obi, and request for things like seaports and other key infrastructures? And lastly, because someone already
Bro,
asked.
please,
Okay,
just
okay,
one, please,
okay,
please,
Yeah,
okay,
way.
okay.
Oh.
please.
Okay.
There are hundreds of questions to ask him, please. Let's take it one by one. Sir, please, can you answer the question? Thank you.
Yeah, seaports. I think the closest we can get if we are going to do a southeast seaport is maybe through Oguta or maybe dredge the River Niger, which must have several ecological implications. But if we open up One, open up rivers, the other one in River State, open up Calabar, even Warri, the thing is really to decentralize and allow seaports to thrive in other parts of Nigeria. You don't really need to lobby for what is a necessary part of national development. It's the crying need, the need for seaports in Calabar, for instance, in River State, for instance, have become the matter speaks for themselves. So it's become obvious that they are being frustrated for reasons that are not even nationalist reasons. But so it's leadership. If a national leader emerges who thinks national, who thinks developmental, who thinks inclusiveness, who knows that there's need to multiply the centers of activity in Nigeria for national cohesion and growth, one does not need to lobby for all those things. If once a good leader emerges, automatically he will look for the things that will galvanize national development, that will spread joy and happiness, and then give each segment of the country its due. But that is not to say that we will not speak up for those things. Even as ordinary citizen of Nigeria, I've spoken up about Calabar. I've written about Calabar and other things that needs to be done. So, but what you're asking is for whether we are going to collaborate, work together with other governors. Yes, I will try. I will push for a collaboration, not only with the governors of the Southeast, but even with the governors of Eastern Nigeria. I'm enamored tremendously about the idea of Eastern Nigeria. So we are going to make sure that we spread out our hands of fellowship to colleague governors in the southeast, and then because there are several things we need to collaborate even amongst ourselves, open up interstate roads, open up interstate markets, and other centers, other areas of commerce. Work together on security. We need to work together on security. We need to work together on interstate collaboration, interstate roads, and roads that are touch our region as southeast. So I commit myself to doing everything possible that I work with the emergent new governors who are emerging, even those who are reluctant, because what I understand that happens is that people there's a tussle for leadership, and there's an ego trip. Where will the meeting hold? Who will chair it? These things tend to sublimate the essential service that we ought to render to our people for national growth. So I commit myself to working with broader governors to make sure that the interests of the Igbo people or the interests of the Southeast are served at utmostly, especially with regards to security and infrastructure. I will also extend it beyond to the South-South region, so that the idea of Eastern Nigeria, that was once the fastest growing economy in the world, is revived again, and then other benefits that accrue therefrom. I'm a student of federalism. I know what it means that how federalism cooperates, cooperative federalism we call it. So we are going to work together to
All right.
collaborate with others. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's move on real quick, please, as short as possible. And under his structure. Under what? Share there, please. Good evening.
Please, so
Hello.
can I ask my question? I've been here for a long time.
Sir, please, you should be patient. People have been here before you, sir. Please, I need to reach you. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Sirdam, my brother Sizzle, my brother Utumba, Jimmy, magnific dude, the most respected
My
elder
sister, please, just
spaceman.
forget all this thing, please, and just go
All
straight to the
protocols observed.
Okay,
just
all
all protocols,
protocols
please.
observed.
We love
Please, I want to ask a question, as has been directed by our most elder and emir, Professor Sirdam, one person. But before I ask my question, I just want to chip in something on the health sector. So, when you answered your question on health sector, and this is not to disrespect you or to belittle you, but
My
being
sister,
somebody
please,
on the
please,
yeah,
please, 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 just ask question, please. And we have over 100 people that want to ask questions. Please,
79
please,
people have requests.
okay,
Please,
please.
your question
Just go straight to your
immediately.
question. Whatever you want to tell him, go to his comment section and tell him, sir, I did not understand this. Or I do not, please, just buttress that on his comment section. But please, right now, straight to the questions, please. Thank you.
sure. Okay, my question is what prompted you to leave PDP to Labour Party, and why did you have to wait until you lose your seat in PDP before you go into Labour Party? And I hope that you are not coming to use Labour Party as a shelter to gain your way into the house, into the state house as the governor. And are you sure you are willing and ready to uphold the rules and regulations that guides Labour Party, and you will be able to deal with the obedience who will call you out if you happen to go the other way? That will be my question for now. Thank you.
My dear sister, thank you so much. I would like you, if you don't mind, to educate me on the rules and the regulations that guide the B movements, and so that I can know how to take on the question.
Oh, she dropped off. You can continue, Zach. You want to go ahead and answer her first question about what made you leave PDP to go to Labour Party?
I contested to be governor in PDP. I marshaled out the reasons why I ought to be the candidate for PDP. I participated in the primaries. Others withdrew. I went to the primaries, and before the primaries, the popular view in Enugu State, I was the preferred candidate for PDP and for the people of Enugu State to take them to the next destination in every direction, in every dimension of leadership. there was a major intervention in the primary process, and the candidate who emerged was not the person the people of Enugu State preferred. And there was evidence that the primary process was monetized, the voting was regulated and monitored heavily by officers of the state, and the major candidate like myself was ambushed and assaulted in public. So the environment for that primary was not conducive to a proper primary, so called. And then I looked at it that the challenges, the reasons for my emergence initially, the reasons for my determination to run initially, still remain valid. And when Labour Party platform provided itself, when the platform was provided to me to run, to continue the battle for a new Enugu state, I had no reason not to contest. I had no reason not to contest under Labour. The platform is immaterial, really. What is important is the mission. What's important is the vision. What's important is the propelling the impulses that propel one to run for office. So whether you enter it through PDP in this case or Labour, the important thing is once you enter that office, what do you do with it? And those things I want to do have been carefully and openly canvassed. So if I ran in PDP and I was unjustly denied, and another platform offered itself, is there any reason why I should not run? I don't think it makes sense not to run because
So
I
let me
lost.
let me let me be more direct. There are questions people don't want to ask, and I'm going to put it straight to you. Okay, you said you were publicly berated. I know who, but I want to ask you, who berated you publicly during the
Oh,
primaries? Because yes,
and
first,
what were the circumstances?
what
It's
was
a
the second?
very popular
Because
story, but we
I
need
know
a
the background
backstory.
story. I know we've heard the background story, but we would like to hear from you directly because there's one name that people have said you've not mentioned, and that name, I know what that name means. He has blocked me. So please, can you expand further on the primary process? Who berated you? Go ahead, sir.
I heard you say that you know the person. Why don't you tell the world what you know?
Oh, the shining light of the east.
Uh,
Shining
so,
candle.
Shining candle.
Shining
Basically, people
candle.
want to know your relationship with Mr. Chimaroke and Amani. That's where a lot of the mistrust comes from. I'll just put it
So
that way.
you
The
say
most
so.
murderous politician in Nigerian political history.
I will not comment on that. My life still means something to me.
Then
I
you've
feel
commented.
There you have just commented, sir. Continue.
thank you.
Continue, sir.
So
Zizu, you desperate with me, oh.
it's all right. So that's why I left. I didn't want to. The platform, it was fortuitous. It was an act of God that Labour platform was available, and I was the one they chose. I was the one they chose, really. I was the one they chose, or the platform chose me, really. That's the fact. That platform, the Labour Party platform, chose me as the one
So, sir, I
who.
just to put on the record, you are not, as people say, you're not a stooge or um of Mr. Chimaroke and Amani. Is
A
that what
stooge?
we? Yeah, I
Stooge?
want to get on the record. I want to get that because a lot of people see that's what some of the obedient influencers are using to sort of demarket you. Is the
That I'm
claim
a
that
stooge.
you are sort of planted by Mr. Chimaroke and Amani Labour Party, and I want to put that on the record, sir. Was Mr. Chimaroke and Amani involved in you going to Labour Party to run as governor, and do you have a relationship with him? I know you say you don't want to comment, but I just want to because that's the
No,
only issue I think some obedience have.
no. How can Chimoroke when you saw that he publicly berated me?
Thank
Publicly
you.
berated.
I wanted you to say. I wanted you to expand on how he berated you publicly
No, it's
because
not possible now.
you
It's not.
stepped down in primary.
There's no nexus. If it was in his hand to give, he wouldn't give me now. If he was first of all he was unhappy that I was running in PDP. He was unhappy that I was poised to win in PDP, and he poured out his frustrations in the public in the glare of everyone. So how can he now turn around and give me a platform, even if then it was not a major platform? People didn't know it was going to be a major platform. So I had no connection with him. I fought him all my political life. I wasn't part of a band or as people peddle. He was rising to power as I was rising to power on different platforms. He became governor in 1999. I went to the House of Reps in 1999. Actually, I was the one who helped him more than he helped me, because I was already a chairman of council by 1997, and he was coming around asking me to support him. So by 1999, I was going to National Assembly. I was going to become governor. And throughout his governorship, I was not part of his government. I was in Abuja. So in 2003, I resigned from PDP and ran a UMPP against his people. And there was mayhem in Enugu State. There was no election. There was violence everywhere. People were killed in 2003. And he continued to govern. But most of that 2003 to 2007, I was not in Nigeria. I was abroad. So I was never part of Ebano, and I've spoken about Ebano in very negative terms, very derisive terms. I say that it's nothing. Ebano means nothing. Ebano is static. It has no philosophical undertone. It doesn't mean anything to me. So I have no relationship with Ebano, politically or ideologically. Well, occasionally we talk, myself and she, about the cat and mouse relationship. Now we are friends. Now we are cat and mouse. But that's it. That is basically. He's not my patron. He's not my promoter. He has not done anything except to try to undermine me. But he has not succeeded, and he's not going to succeed.
Quick one, sir. Let me get this cleared once and for all. So you left PDP, and it wasn't as if you went to Labour Party. Labour Party approached you. Is that correct?
You can say that, because
No.
after
I want us to be clear, because people, the way it is, people think you left PDP and you just see the obedient movement is making a huge force and you just want to jump on that. So I mean, we have about over 1,000 people here, and each person I can see, prominent obedient members here. Some of them have 50,000 followers. Some of them 100,000+ followers. Every single thing you say here can be tweeted in a way that you get people that will vote for you. So we need to get this thing clear.
okay,
These are allegations that were made against you. So we want to be certain that it's not as if you're jumping on the obedient movement. So you left PDP, but Labour Party approached you to come and run for the gubernatorial position. Is that correct?
can I tell you something? Can I tell you?
Please go ahead, sir. Go
I'm
ahead,
not,
sir. Yes, sir.
not saying this thing to play anybody down or to make myself look too big, but actually, our presidential candidate himself called me. Immediately he emerged as presidential candidate of Labour, he put a call across to me that I should come and run in Labour, and I told him I was not ready then. Immediately I lost the PDP candidate, because he is from a nearby state. Pt2 is from Anambra State. Enugu State has a tremendous number, a large number of people of Anambra who live in Enugu, who know who is who in Enugu State. And they knew that the outcome of the PDP primary was rigged, that it was not popular, that was not acceptable to the major. So many of them put scores across. Many of them put scores across to be that this is a man like you. They told him that Chijoke Doga is a man like you, that is a winner, that is just a replica of you. He actually called me. I'm saying it's on record. I'm putting it out here on record. He actually called me and asked me to come and run in Labour. But then I was not ready. I was not prepared, because I had just come out of a bruising battle in PDP, and a disappointing one at that. So my family members, my brothers, my sisters, my immediate family was not ready for another gubernatorial run. And I needed to consult. I needed to assimilate really what's happened and reflect before I moved on. So it took me a clear 1 month plus to decide to accept to run in the Labour Party. And before then, the state chairman of the party, Kasmir Abo, had become the candidate or the flag bearer. And he said clearly to everyone that he was going to surrender that ticket only to Chijoke Doga. 1 month, 15 days after the PDP primary, after Kasmir had become the flag bearer of Labour Party. I accepted to run in Labour. And the chairman of the Labour Party, Kasmir, a lawyer, about my age, put it in writing that he was relinquishing that ticket only to Chijioke Edoga. So if it's like jumping onto the bandwagon, I don't know how you can jump onto a bandwagon in almost 2 months. I didn't jump onto any wagon.
Sir, say no more. Say no more. Obedience, I don't hear. Peter Obi don't say LP top to bottom.
Shikena, I want to ask you a question, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
This question in particular is for the youth of Enugu, but 2 problems. 1, Yahoo has been glorified in Enugu almost to the state of an occupation. From university to secondary school and even post-university, advanced free fraud has a free day in Enugu State. 1, that's for the young boys. For the young ladies, I dare say, without fear of favor and shame, that prostitution was on the rise in Enugu when I was there in the early 2000s, and from my recent travels there, it is still rather high. This is a state that, from the entertainment industry to a lot of other things, women could be kept, how do I put it? A lot of employment could be done to keep these young people in Enugu employed. There are a lot of vices that seem to have taken root in Enugu, also cultism and the rest of them. What is your direct plan for a demographic of, I would say, between 17 years of age and 25, especially with keeping them busy and also taking them away from vices, and last but not least, drugs? And drug abuse is also, I think, the 4th cousin of this entire system that seems to be engulfing Enugu youth between 16 and about 25 years of age. How would you be tackling all of this? I'm sorry if I didn't put the question well. I hope you understand what I mean.
You put it well.
More or less social vices and their hold on the young, especially drugs, fraud, and the rest.
You put it well. It just boils down to unemployment. The other aspects of our orientation, family values, even if you look at drug issue, you just have to go to the fact that people are just bored, and those who ought to be busy are not kept busy. And I've said that we're going to, and I'm worried about it. I worry about it. I look at the young girls, many of them, the parents are not at work, they're not at work. So how do they even take care of themselves? How do they even take care of themselves? So we are going to completely look at the things that we have to do immediately to create employment. We are going to tackle unemployment from various dimensions. We are going to make sure that we have, I've said it before here, that we have electricity. Electricity is a major driver of employment or unemployment. If we have electricity more than we have now, several businesses will thrive. We also have had what we call deindustrialization of Enugu State, arising from the absolute lack of empathy of leadership. Companies are moving, Innocent and many others are moving away from Enugu because the governments multiply taxes, multiplication of taxes. We also have had governments or governors who are indifferent, in fact, hostile to new businesses coming up. There are several people who have indicated interest to establish industries here are rebuffed directly or indirectly. You rebuff somebody who wants to establish a business when you ask that person to give you money. Instead of providing the money or providing the land or the enabling environment, you rebuff him by saying that his person should give you money first of all, or personalizing governance. I've had a relation who wanted to build a big hospital here, and because they thought that that patient should not become rich in his community, that person was stopped. So we're going to create an environment that welcomes business. We're going to create an environment that reduces the taxation that people pay in order to do businesses here. We are going to create an enabling environment to make apprentices work again. The apprenticeship system is being destroyed, especially in Enugu State. We're also going to make orientation. No, governors don't even communicate again. communication. A leader is a teacher. So continuously, when I become governor, I'm going to engage with people. I'm also going to live by example. If a governor is rides a convoy of 30 or 40 cars, all of them huge armadas, what are you communicating to people about the values of asceticism or being delicate or careful with how the public perceives you? So we're going to make sure that parsimony or the values of being careful with money, being accountable, being worried about the sources of money you have. So when you create employment, when you divert the youth from being bored, light up the environment, bring in Nollywood. So we will try to multiply the options, revive existing infrastructure, businesses like Hotel Presidential, create new ones around agriculture, make agriculture work and make the value chain work. We are going to minimize the things that make people not not disengage them from boredom and from vices. We're also going to use the radio to teach about value orientation. But those who must get into drugs, even in Enugu State, there's not one single institution that is involved in drug rehabilitation of youth who fall by the wayside. So if we're also going to help with institutions that help to bring back to reasonableness those who become addicts. So we are going to also help to reduce, working in concert with NDLE or other such agencies, make sure that there's the demand reduction. And when those who become ill inevitably, there'll be a place to rehabilitate them and put them back to reasonable engagement. We're also going to mentor the youth. We are going to revive the apprenticeship system, which is dying now. We're also going to make glamorized work. Money without wealth without work is sin. People don't even know that one again. So we're going to glamorize the one, make models of those who really work hard for their money, and then make sure that youth gradually are oriented towards hard work, towards a life of hard work, not a life of ease without money, and that employment positions are created. But we can do that gradually, as I've said, by for instance, lighting up the Enugu has become dark and sober. So even nightlife or night business don't even thrive again. By 6 o'clock, everywhere is closed. We are going to take our communities one after the other at New Haven, Transekulu, Achari out. We are going to gradually light up those places so that businesses can thrive on 247 basis. If people are fully engaged, and drug addiction, cultism will reduce. It's a big job, but I think we'll just do it gradually.
Thank you, sir. So I just want to come here because I'm getting feedback from your team that you want to leave the platform soon. But I really think we have a whole lot of people that want to engage you. I want
I've
to put
been
it up,
asking him questions from my DMs, so
yeah, I want to put it up to you, sir, that I for everything you have said here today, I will say you have not done well when it comes to your social media handling. You have not been visible on social media, and of which is very, 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 very bad. Knowing the generation we are in right now, a whole lot of narrative have been sold against you on the social media. I just found out today that you set up a number of labor structures across the state. And it is painful when you know that there is someone like we have labor, we have someone like you that have done some kind of work, and our fellow obedience are selling other candidates. And I don't blame them because you have not been visible. If you have been visible on the social media, I don't think all these narratives have been pushed. We're at the point of damage control, and I honestly thank God that this election has been pushed by a week for your sake. For any other candidate, I think for your sake, you should also go and pray and thank God also, because I think this was done for you, because you're the narrative on social media. I was almost convinced not to even talk about you
Saddam,
on this platform.
Saddam, I swear to God, sir, I wish you knew the image I had about you and the way
Very bad
you
image.
correct,
Archbishop, God bless
the
you
way
for
you
that.
corrected so many, and even a lot of obedience are telling me this also. And I just want to ask if there's a way we can support your campaign. Please let us know. I know we're a lot of us here in diaspora. There are a lot of people from Enugu diaspora also. If there's areas of your campaign where you need help, I don't know. I think we can communicate and find time. I know Mag is here. Mag spends a lot of time helping people Whatever we can do to support you, whatever little we can do to support your marriage. Because, sir, I won't lie to you. Listening to you for the past 2 hours is it's just going to happen to the River State candidate, and it's bad. Like you have people paint a completely different picture of the person, and then the person starts to talk, and you're like, "Are you? Is this?" So, sir, I won't lie. I'm impressed. Some of your answers need work, but so far, sir, you you're as competent as any candidate, governorship candidate you can push. Forget the someone that I know one of them speaks good English, but it's not by English, so it's not by speaking for now. So I appreciate you. You're a great communicator. You know how to explain things as simple as you can. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. So please, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to schedule on that space. Your people are disturbing me in the background, saying that you come back again. I don't know. I think if it is possible, I don't know your schedule, but if you can have more spaces, you should be able to talk to your people. Enugu people are in my DMs. They're in the comment section. We have over 65 of them requesting for the mic. They want to ask you questions, but I don't want to go beyond the limit of the time we agreed. So I don't know if you're going to schedule on that space. We on the platform we're always open for you. You can always say you want to have on that space with us. I think you should spend ample time on social media. You don't have a social media presence. That is a fact. So please work on your social media presence so that you can come out and say this. What you're saying right now, man, I'm sold out already, But please, enough of your people want to ask you questions. Please look into that and get back to us. But I will allow three more questions before I allow you go, sir. I don't know if that's okay with you. We can
All
allow
right.
three more.
All right.
Let,
Go ahead.
all right, please. I'll come. Mark, your answer. Oh, but let me take. I don't know, Mark, if you want to come in and have a question right now. Let us take the three questions back to back, please. MM2
Um,
live. Okay, Mark, go on.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. Thank you so much, Saddam, Sizul, and Otumba. Um, Mr. Chijoke, thank you for being here. All protocol duly observed. I just want to say this real quick. Exactly what I wanted to say. Uh, Saddam just said it out of my mouth. You do not have social media presence. I'll tell you for a fact. Look for Ejikeme and thank him very well. Ejikeme is one person that has been pushing and pushing and pushing your case. He brought your case to us like we were like literally not even concerned about Enugu State. Ejikeme was insisting and insisting and insisting. Look, I have tons of your the pictures that you I mean, about you and the things you did in Enugu State. We don't even know. So look for
Can
Ejikeme,
I request Ejike to come up? Can Ejike request for the mic?
HKM, please, if you're here,
please.
request for the mic, please. I know you
Yeah,
can hear
please.
us.
You need to buy him lunch or something. If not Ejikeme, trust me, I don't even know what to tell you. But let me tell you this, sir. You will win this election now and moving forward. You just need to be present. You need to be present. Whatever is done here, everything you do here transcends down to all the polling units in Enugu. Believe you me, people carry it from Twitter. The best thing that happened to this dispensation is this Twitter spaces. If you don't believe me, I will tell you for a fact. I was in Nigeria, I was in Abuja, I was listening to Violence Space in a boat that I entered. I was listening to my own space in Port Harcourt in a boat. I'm not kidding you. So please don't underrate Twitter spaces. I will tell you, you need to be present. Make sure you understand when the lady said the obedient rules and regulation, she does not she's not telling you that there are set down rules. She simply wants you to understand that if you don't perform, they will disrespect you, they will insult you, and there is nothing you can do because they will remove you. So you have to be ready to deal with them, to tolerate them, and to explain yourself at all times. That's all what she meant. If you want me to break it down for you, that is it. So please, sir, be patient. Be patient and be patient with the obedient movement. They will make you or they will break you. They are stingy with their vote. They will not vote any other party. I'm telling you that for free. You will win this election. But what will come with it? Be ready. It's either good or bad. We're as blunt and as straightforward as that. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your day and please let's see more of you on social
I
media.
want to
Thank you.
ask Mr. Dogga, I want to ask you a question that will literally take 30 seconds. A follower called Ken Et said, in terms of security in Enugu State on the said election, what is your plan for the indigenes coming out to vote for you and for Labour Party, and your legal process to ensure that INEC, especially INEC Enugu, acts accordingly? Is that a question you can answer in 1 minute, please?
I didn't hear. Yannick did what? Yannick did what?
One more time, the question is, in terms of security in Enugu State on the said election, what are your plans for the indigenes coming out to vote for Labour Party and for you? And then what are your legal plans to ensure that INEC Enugu acts accordingly on the day as well?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Are you hearing me? Hello?
I can hear you perfectly, sir.
Okay.
That's our last question for
What we
today, and
have
with that,
done,
you can sign
what
out.
we've done with regards to security is to engage the security, the formal security establishment of Nigeria. I've had meaningful discussions with the director of SSS. I've had meaningful discussions with the commissioner of police. I've had meaningful discussions with the GOC, Chinade, of the Nigerian Army, 82 Division. I've had meaningful discussions with the Director of Military Intelligence. And they have assured me, they have given me their words of, even the Civil Defense Director I've spoken to, and they have given me their words of honor that the security coverage of Enugu will be comprehensive, and that everything that needs to be done will be done to make sure that citizens are protected and they will cast their votes in peace and the processes will be protected. They have given me the assurance demanded about a peaceful election, and they have guaranteed a peaceful election. I've also educated our people information on what to do to make sure that INEC does what it ought to do. Results must be uploaded at the polling units. Results must be uploaded at polling units. Results must be collated at the collection centers. Result sheets must be made available at the polling units, and they should follow. They cast their votes and wait. Votes are counted and announced. Result sheets given to the agents. They follow it from polling units to the centers. Results are counted. If there's no light at the collection centers, they should provide light. Small generator, better pass your neighbor, energy bulbs, energy lights should be provided. Results must be counted and collated at the collection centers and announced. From there, I'm urging all people of Enugu State to follow the results to the LGA offices, to the local government headquarters of INEC, and make sure that the results are announced. I also have urged our citizens. I've addressed several caucuses of LP stakeholders and normal citizens in about 7 local governments in the past 2 days, and I've told all of them that I appeal to the people of Enugu State to follow the results to the state capital, to the INEC headquarters in Enugu. Stay around, form a human shield, form a human environment to wait, keep video until the results are announced. Miles around INEC, waiting and hoping to get the right thing. INEC compelled to do the right thing. So I'm asking for citizen engagement from beginning to the end until the results are announced. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chijoke, sorry. Please, I want to confirm, please, can we have you on another space because we want to. Your people are disturbing me that you have to go now. So, are we going to have another space with you? Any people want to talk to you?
When do you want me back?
We have a space
Sir,
on
I don't want
Saturday.
to. We have on Saturday. Even if you do a special space, I'm so and sir, please.
Yeah, if we can have a special one-on-one space with
Also,
you.
sir,
If
please, I don't mind. We
When?
can recommend obedience in Enugu for you. Someone
Enugu,
that's physically present with you that can manage your social media and be integrated into your campaign directly. Because, yes, so that
AGK
would be
is here,
very helpful.
Otumba, we have them here. Unwa is here. Unwa is here. I think I've been the three people that or four people that have been seeing their tweets about Mr.
No, sir, I'm
Chijoke
not,
has been.
it would be nice if they can move around with him. Like, remember when when we complained to PO
Yes,
and
work
PO
with him. Yeah,
he had
AGK should
obedience
be
to
able
move
to do
around with
that.
him. And then they can project because man, it's a far cry from what we heard. It's a complete 360 degrees. So please, sir, that's very important. But
All right, so please, I think I will talk with you on the background. Probably we'll fix Saturday. Our Saturday space, we can have that if you're free on Saturday. I don't know your schedule on Saturday, but we have our space from 4 p.m. Saturday, so we can have that Saturday space. It could be a very long. You can spend ample time with your Enugu people here because you really need to shape the narrative on social media. I don't know the amount of work you've done on the grassroots, but I can see from the work, from what HK have posted there, you've done a whole lot of work on the grassroots. So I think your online persona is something that you really need to address and as fast as possible. So a whole lot of Nigerians in diaspora, Enugu indigenous in diaspora are on this platform. They want to talk to you. These are people that sponsor, that donate. I have a woman that I know. She's here on this platform. She has questions for you. She single-handedly funded Nsuka local government, all our matches. We have them on this platform. They want to do things. They want to hear you speak. So I really want if you can have that Saturday space. If it's Saturday, we'll schedule our Saturday space and say let us have a one-on-one with you on Saturday, so we can also go out and bring in more people here that have not heard you speak this night, and also you come out that day and talk to your people, hear your people. I don't know if that's good with you, sir, but go on. Your network is
Yeah,
breaking, sir.
I'll be available for Saturday. Actually, would have continued, but a senior member of my party came here to take me to the meeting. Are you there?
I'm here, sir. Go on.
There are 260 wards in Enugu State, 260 electoral wards. I have done more than 240 wards and visited more than 240 wards in Enugu State. And each place I went, I planted Labour Party. So we have done.
we've seen pictures and videos, yes, but we didn't know that.
So those pictures are a far cry of what I've done. Where we actually have done more than any video can show. We have done more. I have personally gone to more than 240 wards in Enugu State and planting Labour Party, creating the structure for Labour Party, making the Labour Party the winning machine that it has become, bringing candidates, candidates who have won the elections and who will win the elections next week. So it's true that I've not been on social media. Self-effacement is one of the things you have to suffer when you are my kind of person, not projecting yourself. But I appreciate the space they have given me. I appreciate it tremendously. But the important thing is that enormous amount of work has been done.
All right, sir. Thank you. We'll fix that Saturday space. We'll talk to you at the background because you're cracking, sir. We're losing you. We are losing you. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can,
I'll be on Saturday.
all
On
right, sir.
Saturday, my team will arrange it. Your people will arrange it.
All right, educate. Talk to your governor. Let educate unmute and speak, please. So I want you to. I don't know if you know educate personally, but educate has been one first. I have to shout out to these guys, educate, Unwa and Umbadike and Big Joe. Yeah, you guys have been at the forefront of pushing. They have been at the forefront of pushing your campaign on social media. These guys have been. I don't know, but educate. You can say something.
Saddam, and let me also mention this person, Dr. Edoga. Go and look for Dr. Edoga as well. He has
And then
done
Stevie Bay,
outreaches all over.
Then Chidube Mubarak good too. Chidube, I can't pronounce his name.
We'll give all
Definitely
those guys their flowers on Saturday. But right
yeah,
now,
that
let's
they've been pushing your candidacy, and I'm glad we finally got to hear from you.
all right, Chijoke, AGK, can you go on, please?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. I really want to appreciate you, Saddam, for this platform. It's not, I, you know, a lot of narrative, a lot of wrong narratives has been spread, and I just needed him to come here and, put off all these things. At least people have listened to him speak. It's not like he's a social media shy, but PDP is rooted in Enugu State. A lot of work needs to be done. A lot, like he said, now he's leaving for a meeting again this night. Like you can imagine, what is the time? It's almost 11, and he's leaving for a meeting. This is what he does every day, no time. We want to we want to grab Enugu out of PDP, back from PDP. So we need this thing. We need this thing to happen. And you can also, tomorrow, Kenneth Okonkwo will be on NTA. You understand? He'll be on NTA. He's going to be there to also debunk some of the nonsense that has been said. You understand? People who are not even from Enugu State would come up on social media and tell us what to do. Like, I just begin to wonder. These same people, when elections are happening in their state, they don't speak, but they want to speak for a state like Enugu State. That is why I've stood up and I've said, no, this thing cannot happen. Focus on your state. Focus on your state. You cannot be coming on social media and be pushing people in Enugu State. These are same people who push Soludo. Soludo is there now. Soludo is your governor, and you are coming to push another person for another state. What have you done about your own state? Seriously, I get mad at all this, but it's election season. Everybody just do what they do. People where they cash out, they cash out. But I just want to thank you very much, Saddam. Like he said, on Saturday, he's going to be back. You understand? He doesn't run from this kind of engagement. You understand? So on Saturday, he's going to be back. So what is going to happen is I'm going to talk with him. Then we'll know the timing. So I'm going to relate the time to you, so we know when it's going to be on a Saturday. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Sizzle, I see you. Otumba Mukinyo. Thank you very, very much. Magnifique, I greet to my hand there for it. Sweet Angel, Mbadike, thank you very, very much. God bless you all. We'll do this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Nice work, Jerry. Nice work. I think a big shout out to our guy himself. What is his name again, Seth? When they come here, Eze Nabdi, yes. Eze Nabdi
Yes, I missed it.
Eze Nabdi also put the man on the map. So guys, you heard from the gubernatorial candidate. On Saturday we'll be back here. Sorry for everyone that could not come up to speak or ask questions. I think we'll take reactions right now and prepare ourselves for Saturday. I honestly, for myself, I have always wanted LP all the way, but at times you get to hear different perspective of different people, and you'll be wondering. That's why the Tuesday space we had was, is it LP or competence? That was the question I asked on Tuesday, and people came up here and were asking me, "Why should you say that? Why should you say that? You should be LP all the way." And I don't want to. I would not want to have a Tinubu on the ticket. I don't want to defend. I don't want to come up here and defend a Tinubu that's in LP. But if I have a competent, a competent Peter will be across all board, and probably you now you have your own competent candidate, but he's not in Labour Party. It's not a battle of my own candidate. I'm going to go all the way for my candidate. This man has spoken right now, and he cannot tell me he's not a competent person. If you have any other thing against the man, I can understand. But for competence, for eloquence, for character, for track record, the man has it. So
For
I don't.
knowledge of his state, to be
Knowledge of
honest.
the state, yeah.
Not even that. He told us to go and check his record for when he was chairman of his local government. So there's an aspect of, you know what, go and dig out things from when he was chairman of
No,
his local
after that,
government.
say after that Jimmy's tensioning, anybody will feel continue without his voice shaking. Now man will be. Jimmy tell us say I will go and check the man. If to say maybe inside that 4 schools where he talk 3 na lamba, he go just tell Jimmy say, sir, there is one that I didn't really graduate from. I just went there and did a course. So after that, Jimmy will say the man still called. I will be digging into them. And me will not even be the man. We not even be the man PA. I don't nearly piece for clothes. For I say God, I beg you.
I did check my certificate. Say, Jimmy, no, go do. Jimmy, no, go check.
Any good people don't develop, so can't
from my DM from Enugu people. So it's not like I was making them up. A lot of them.
I don't see the two of them. Two of them they drag back already. Two of them don't agree.
The DM. So next time I think Otumba said it, that is a more serious way. Unless now your voice you really just want to hear. You understand? But if you really want your question to get across, send a DM across to us or ask it in the comment section and we will be asking the questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's take reactions. Otuma, go on.
Then you go to Pt2 Live and then.
Otuma, you're fading off.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, so we'll go to Pt2 Live, then from there we'll go to Tribalism, and then we'll go to Mr. Emekane. You didn't get to ask your questions, but just want to take reactions. Pt2 Live, sir, go ahead. You have the space.
I just like you guys were saying, me, first time I was not even supporting the A-Dog of 18, but it was just last week or last month that I came across AGK, and I saw what the man was doing, and I had to schedule and find out to listen to him on radio. And all this thing he has said, he has continued to say all of them. And his relationship with Chimaroke, he has still continued to state the fact on how it was. So it's not proper that people will come and be telling you that he has paid you. That's why he's supporting you. You can see I just changed my profile about him just recently. So it's always good to hear from the both sides before we conclude. So the man, he needs to do more about social media. Based on us in Enugu, even right from when we started the 1 million match, he has been doing billboard, all of them. Even when the case he had with Udengen, Captain Udengen, I was so angry, and I was even asking my captain, our own group, that this man has invested a lot. Maybe he's not that strong in social media, but if you are in Enugu, as we are in Enugu, the man has done a lot for them just to come that time and say the ticket has been taken away from him. Me, I was even crying when I heard that news that time. So my own question I wanted to ask him, maybe it will be on that Saturday, because it's mainly on the market. In our market in Enugu, the present governor is just taking away everywhere, anywhere that he saw space, he will take without creating more places that people will stay. Just like Ogbete has remained as Ogbete has been. You are not building
No
more
lie, they never improved Ogbete since then. Near that railway.
It's just I'm in Ogbete. People are looking for who will die so that they will take over their shop, or who their their landlord will increase the rent so that they will take over the shop. You will see that this place, there are still more structures that need to be built. Just like me, I'll be finishing my apprenticeship this year. There is no shop. You are looking for who will die or who they will increase the rent so that you will pay and stay there. Look like the prison is closer to residential. The prison should have been taken to far place. Why the other place will be built as market? The local government there, workers are not in that place. They should shift it to the other new areas. We have New Heaven, we have New Artisan, but we don't have New Ogbete. The new market, the governor just chased people away there. It's just because the governor did not win the senatorial election. That was why people had to come back there. Ngbemene, the governor chased people there. Akwata, the governor chased people there. All of them, the governor is just taking over everywhere, and they're not building new structures. People are looking for shop every day. If you just leave this shop now, another person will pay higher than you pay, and this is the competition we have in Enugu. So the governor, as he's saying it, let me say, Mr. Honorable Edoga, he has continued to do it as he has been doing it. That's why people like us, when we go and we saw a Labour Party top to bottom, and people will be attacking us. Why are you attacking me? You said you are going for Frank Nweke. I said I have heard from Chijoke Edoga, and I've seen he has explained all those things. You people are saying that this is what you have against him. He has not. He does not have any corruption case against him, because you have not digged out that there is corruption case. Just like he said, as an environment, whoever becomes the S1 is the governor that picks whoever that will be the S1 chairman and how the S1 runs. Just like he said, we have only one place where they dump the refuge. It's only one place, and Enugu is being decongested every day. Population are coming every day. Just like from 2015, I entered Enugu. The population there and now, they are no longer the same. People are coming to Enugu, and the even traffic. We even begged the governor before he could do the Abani road. The road was just spoiled to the extent that you will say, do we really have a governor in Enugu State? So the thing is it's so embarrassing. So a lot needs to be done in Enugu, even in the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. It's still as it was that when who built it? Was it Azikiwe or what? The stadium is still as it is. Nothing is being done in Enugu. We just need to start afresh in Enugu, sir. Thank you, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I think
Sirdam, it's crazy how I was in Enugu. I got there to do my university from 2001. The issues that are still plaguing Enugu then are the issues plaguing Enugu now. Transekulu still doesn't have water. There are bare communities that still don't have electricity. Remember all those hillside communities of like Upper Odenigbo and all the rest of them? The kids are still running around naked. Community healthcare is still in shambles. Cultism has expanded to the point that those boys now got into power, got into government. You know, it's so sad. Like, it is just so sad. And I like this young man. I like how he has handled himself when he gives detailed descriptions of Enugu, because it still makes no sense how Enugu is like Lagos, surrounded by large bodies of water, but has a water problem. Nike Lake, there's a lake right smack in the middle of Enugu. People do boat rides there, picnics, everything, but there's just no water running from the taps, and it's been like that at least in the 20 years I've known the place. This is really, really heartbreaking stuff. But hopefully, I think there's hope for Nigeria with it, especially with the states and the governors we are bringing in, most probably with the parts of accountability. We can see it from their actions early enough, and I'm sure that they'll carry this into government, knowing fully well that they were powered by a movement that does not take, that doesn't want to hear failure. So I have my fingers crossed, and I'm very happy. I don't know about this, these other people or these other names they are pushing, but I like the fact that in LP top to bottom, we have still not really had an LP candidate that hasn't fulfilled the three C's of character, competence, and capacity. I yield.
Yeah, and we've not had any of them that could not explain their position.
let's
Like,
not even forget. Don't forget that we had a Bayelsa State guy earlier on. That guy is another sound human being.
yes,
Please, I hope
engineer,
he's
yeah,
still
engineer,
around.
yeah, engineer, yeah. So like, and like we just have to drum up. I said, I don't know if you want to have. I know he's coming back on Saturday. We cannot have any other governor. I know we had Mr. the one from Kaduna. We spoken to him before, but I don't know if we can get him back. Like, we have
Hello?
so many competent candidates. We have a lot. Like, and when he see what I mean
Hello?
competent. Sorry,
Hello?
hold on. Hold on. A
Yeah.
baseline for competence is what we're looking for right now. We're 9-month-old party in a sense, so it's gonna take a lot of work. And if we don't start to, I like that lady. I think was it Dr. Viva that talked about the obedient principle. I think it's actually good we said that. We need to start laying out this. You're gonna get elected, but we are gonna hold your feet to the fire. That's the way you shape people. Shape people. That's the way you have to hold them accountable, and start to drum it from their ears now that we will hold you, we will drag your balls, we will recall you, we will find a candidate in the primary. If you, we want to be able to say 4 years from now, go and verify. I think that's our mantra. Is we want to be able to say most of our candidates now. 4 years from now, you come up. You don't have to come out. Don't come and tell me what you want to do.
Labour governor. He go they look Labour like say they have fire. Next election, you are pursuing that your governor and putting a Labour governor there. Do you understand me, brother? And that is how we'll get the national spread in little to no time. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited, Otumba. Continue.
Let's go to Chidubem. Chidubem, go ahead.
Jubem, I'm very, very excited about this violence space you guys hosted for Honorable Dogger. I hope you guys are hearing me, please. Hello?
Perfectly, want to continue. Continue.
Okay, yeah. I know when I noticed this lack of presence, his lack of presence in the social media, especially on Twitter. I've been trying to reach him, but because of maybe his engagements, it was very difficult for me. But I started to send him messages, and even the Kenneth Okonkwo, one of our main spokespersons, I think it is from messages I sent to him privately that made him maybe connected him, made him to connect to Okonkwo to saying that write up on his Twitter and also on his Instagram, and that had a lot of effects as against some of our fellow obedience who I don't know who is pushing them from behind.
We call them disobedient obedience.
Honestly, honestly. So when I saw Ejikeme, I was so excited. I had to follow him immediately, and I had to even DM Nwa and tell him, please follow me. Please follow me. There's a fight. I wanted to follow me so that we collaborate. And she followed me immediately, and we have been fighting it. And honestly, I'm excited, and I feel excited about it. And one of the promises I'm making is that, like you guys really emphasized, we're going to team up seriously now. Thank God they gave us this 1 week extra. We're going to really make as, promote what he truly is. But I've known him from a distance. I've been watching him. I'm the kind of person I may not be discussing with you, but from a distance, I read you like a scientist that I am, and an engineer too. So the guy is it seems very sincere about all those things he's talking about, and the details with which he describes some of these things in Enugu State, which even myself as an indigenous, I don't even have this kind of depth of details. So it makes me feel that I think what is affecting him is this being self-effacing, somebody who does not promote himself or brag about himself, but we can brag for him now because even in the UNN here, where some of us are, the battle it goes on not only on Twitter but on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, and I know the battle there. But thank God, each time some of those videos from one of us, one of our prominent opinions come up to talk to promote the other candidate from another party, I used to rate it, and I discovered that up to 90% of the comments are always in favor of our Edoga, and which is supposed to be because somebody he has labored. I know when he was moving from word to word, I saw him physically, but I didn't know that this Twitter battle was going to come up like this. But I know all the videos are there. We make use of them this 1 week, and I'm going to really flood the Twitter space with it, and even the WhatsApp local WhatsApp groups. They are going to get the hit of it this time. I'm going to connect AGKMA and Nwa and some other people to really form a team now. Even if it means visiting him at Enugu, day, we'll find our way to. I have links that somebody who can link us directly with him, and we go and see him, so that we make it known to him that he cannot just do this without the obedience. The obedience are young guys, young boys and girls, and even some older people who are young in their mind, who are obedience. And where they thrive most, they communicate most is via the social platforms. This physical contact, some of them are not there. They don't have. They're too busy with education and other their disciplines. So it's this platform that you use to reach them. You can reach them in thousands in just a matter of seconds. So we're going. I'm going to connect AGK and some other Nwa and other people. We're going to find a way of connecting him, and even his Twitter handle. I've been trying to ask him to follow me so that he can see some of the tweets the battle we're going on with. But it's not the people who are handling it now. It's like they're not really regular. They
But
put
yeah,
like one or two.
they just need to give you one of you guys the handle, and someone should
Yes,
be. That's what
exactly.
they need to just yeah.
We need to take it
Please,
over from
you should
somebody.
fight for that. I remember when we fought for Labour Party handle when the person was doing rubbish and we put pressure.
Yes,
Someone needs to take over that Twitter handle and
exactly.
yeah, more forceful in communications.
Mm. That's another one. There's a dogger group support group. I kept giving them private chat on their DM. Say, why are you not posting things on minute by minute basis? And they'll just keep quiet. And it's not like this thing WhatsApp that you will find the person's number and begin to call him on phone directly. This one you don't even. I don't know if there's any way to access number. I don't know how to access somebody's number. I would have called them directly and say, why are you not doing that? But like as you guys have pointed it out now, by the grace of God, we're going to push it within because we have only 1 week to do this, and we're going to achieve a lot on that. That's just the promise. I thank you guys so much for coming together like this, and I will be there also on that next Saturday. Yes.
All
So
right,
thank you so much.
thank you very much, Udibim. Thank you. All
Yeah.
right, let's go. Let's move on real quick. Emekene, yeah.
Oh, finally. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I've been listening to you guys since June last year. Sadam, I've been listening to you guys. This is the first time I'm speaking here. I'm so excited, really, to listen to this guy. Like, there's so many. I don't even know where to start because I've never seen him talk in public, and so this is really very, very refreshing to hear. Lots of things that I wanted to ask him, but I mean, I'll push it on till Saturday. And I want to thank you guys for all you have been doing since. And I don't know, just all right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Short, sweet, and to the point. Saddam, who's next, please?
When this guy one with the where they
I even send the guy a recharge card like this.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. All right, let's take a lady now. Lois said that.
Hi, good evening.
Good
evening, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So what I want to my contribution is just about the communication aspect. Like this, it's not just about this man that just left the space. All Eastern governors, both present and the ones coming in, they lack good PR. They lack good PR. So we should just push the narrative that they must have good social media presence, because even the Bayelsa statesman, I'm just hearing their name for the first time and all that. So the obedient movement is about innovation, communication, just like Shamula has gone to open WhatsApp that we can chat him. So communication is key. So please, let's always push the narrative that they should put themselves out there on the social media. Thank you.
And since thank you so much. And since I have a request, the same way we asked someone to make quickly legalize marijuana, since someone is accepting every request now, you should say we not go sponsor bill like this.
My guy talk say, within my guy's studio, my guy talk say, if you want featuring from Sowolu now on your track, just send a message. You go drop bars for you. You no go even charge me.
They attend birthday now.
So look, other one get 2 free. They do promo.
Now, if you just go one bar like this, they could just give you like 2 tequila shots. Tell you country of Lagos State, vote Sanwo-Olu, vote APC. With like one Nkwobi.
Mama, they free promo. Hey, God have mercy. All right, let's move on real quick. These guys, if you're up and you want to speak, your hand should be up, please. Thank you. Grandmaster, my brother, you fell off, so please you can come back up. Grandmaster, can you hear me, please? You have the space, please, my brother.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Saddam. Thank you so much for granting me the opportunity to speak one more time. Actually, I wanted to speak when Mr. Chijoke Doga was there because I wanted to speak to him directly, but unfortunately, the time was restricted. But please just permit me because I'll be a little bit critical here. First, I would like to say, I think maybe when we have like just this, my suggestion. I'm not saying that this is what you should do. I think it would be better when we have somebody like, let's say, a governorship candidate from a state. Let's prioritize people from that state because apparently they are the ones whose policies are going to of that person is going to affect. And I see a lot of Enugu people in my DM telling that they wanted to speak. Unfortunately, they were not able to get the mic because
Hello?
people who were actually not from Enugu were monopolizing
I'm
the
sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Let me just prove something to you. Go through the comments box below, and you'll see that most of the questions that he was asked, and most of the people who got to ask questions were from the comment box. So,
Oh, okay,
like I
okay.
said, please try and understand. Even as we are right now, let me give you some back end data. We have 39 people requesting the microphone. 39 as we are right now. As you're speaking, 39 people are mad at you because you have the golden time. All right. So please understand, like I said, let's go back to typing these questions down. And I promise you, these questions were asked straight from the comment section. You can check them. Also, I have seen the Bayelsa State Governor, Engineer Udeng's Eradiri. He's in the speaker section as well. If you guys are still down, we can still speak with him. So you can take your time and give your submission. Please continue, but let's bear in mind that he's here. We can talk to him and speak
Okay,
with him.
I'll be very quick because honestly speaking, I would have really loved to speak to Mr. Edoga directly.
He'll still
I
be here on
like what
Saturday now, my brother. He go there on Saturday. So Saturday.
I'll try. But I just want to touch on a couple of things because you said that we can speak on what he actually talked about. I just want to talk on a couple of things that I like. His the way he speaks. He comes out as comes up as very articulate. In fact, honestly speaking, I've been listening to him, but have never really paid close attention to him. But there was one thing he said that irked me a little bit, and that thing was this. He said that he has been contesting for governorship even before Chimaroke. I would have asked him, sir, is this your life ambition? Because honestly speaking, I am always wary of politicians who keep on contesting for a position because it comes off as if they want to achieve something by doing that. And when he said he has been from this party to this party to that party to that party, it didn't look good to me, but that's a question I'll ask you for next time. And also, I noticed a lot of feature tenses used in his submission. I will. I'm from Enugu State, and if you understand, the Enugu State is hurting currently, seriously hurting, especially after the disastrous, calamitous 8 years of Ugwani. Enugu lacks unemployment. Enugu lacks any means of generating revenue, okay, beyond just what they get from civil service. So I wanted to ask him, with all you said, how exactly do you intend to get the revenue, generate the necessary revenue needed?
My brother, grandmaster, all this I wanted to ask him. Let us see these questions. Like when he comes, you can ask
Okay,
his question.
okay.
I
All
would
right,
like
then.
what I really want to know is reactions because let's say feedbacks of how so maybe we this is the first time I'm listening to this man speak. That is me.
All right. Okay, no. Honestly speaking, I think I'm positive. I am positive. I liked how he spoke. He comes off as someone who has vision and plan, not just the type of Chimaroke type of politicking which I am very very used to. He comes off as someone who has something to offer, and I'm really really looking
I
forward
was
to
about
him.
to say, my brother, sorry, that you are literally just answering your first question. You see, the first question you asked, very important question. He seems to have been running for a long time. What is it for him by way of life? Is it for him like a life ambition? Are we looking at another Atiku Abubakar of Enugu State, quote unquote? And it makes sense. But you see, that is why we've brought them to the fire. He's here now. You don't get that dolo behavior when he's speaking. He doesn't come off as articulate. He's not throwing in any tribal rhetorics. He's not telling you I'm from Upper Enugu or Middle Enugu or Lower Enugu. You can hear the man understands the facts and the problems. Also, he gives off more of the Peter Obi persona more of I want to run for this thing because these guys are dummies.
And
And
also,
now,
I just want to add
yeah,
that he did not say he started running for elections with Chimaroke. He in 1999 he went to the House of Reps.
exactly. I was about to land
He
there.
said, yeah,
All,
he said they came up together. That it was that. So I think he felt insulted when we sort of said
exactly. He
the way
said he
that
was already,
it was like
as at
I was already a
97.
chairman when he
A
was trying
council
to.
chairman.
God bless you. So please let's not forget and put these things into perspective. Like I said, we might Badebo Revival too has been running for about, let's say, 8 to 12 years that I've been hearing his name.
Yeah.
Small.
From local government,
From local,
chairman.
yes,
And
small.
what is
Unless
that?
you don't know,
Essence,
unless you don't know in Lagos, there
we
was one
don't forget.
controversy in Ikeja one time. I think he ran in Ikeja. So he don't take with it. I've been hearing Badebo from when he was in his early 30s. He's celebrating 40 today. Would I say Badebo has an inordinate ambition to be Lagos State governor? You look at the young man and he could actually bloody well care less. You can tell that he wants to go for service. What have we done as a movement? We put him to the fire. We've brought him on violent space. We panel beat am so I tell am say the white way they wear they vex us. We and the young man they wear in white they go. But if you notice, after he came on violent space, his online presence grew. There were even obedience that jumped on his campaign to help him. So you notice that you might see a lot more of Badeboro's Vival from places like Akinto Gates page, Maurice Monier's page, this person's page, thereby increasing his visibility. There are ways to handle these things. But like I said, what this movement is now showing, I have personal ambitions for Anambra State and also for Lagos State and even maybe at the Senate level because I've been doing this for a very long time and I know what I want. If I start running now, will you start say, so since that time you were on violence based talking and you had political plan? Yes, I did. But you can see that I'm not desperate for it and I'm willing to go through the process, starting a new party, putting in the work. Even you that you're talking, I bet you that by the time this movement is about 8 years old, you would not be looking at politics like rocket science. They are 24 years old, about to be House of Rep members. So please, in certain things,
I
let's be
think
able to grade people. Like I said, the obedient movement does not even need a rule book. Character, competence, capacity, finish. And every other thing that once everything falls on that umbrella, will be fine and will be okay moving forward. He honestly cannot do it. This guy is 100 times better than Chimaroke, Ugwan. You see Chimaroke's deranged thread when he writes tweets. Does Chimaroke look like someone that will come on space and talk to you for 4 hours and people will ask him about his godfather? Somebody asked Femi Fanikaude, who is bankrolling you? Fanikaude nearly flipped the table. It's on public record. And this man has been here and has been roasted. All allegations thrown at him. He's answered all of them beautifully. Questions that were thrown in annoyance, questions that were thrown in high tempo. Let's cut these people some slack. Peter Obi knows why he has told us Labour Party all the way. And in trying to justify that, we have brought all these Labour Party candidates here. And I tell you, none of them, even down to Beatrice Tubo, has failed or fallen short of any standards. And I must say, it further enhances my Labour Party all the way, and I'm done with every other shenanigans. We have good people in our party. Are you?
All right, okay. I
also
think I'll leave the rest of my questions for Saturday because I really wanted
Bless.
to speak to him directly. Let me know about the mic. It's
God
all right.
bless you. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
Also,
Yeah.
N6, to better your point, I think people forget how tough it has been before the emergence of the Labour Party. You either had to be a PDP guy or you had to be, at first it was ANPP, AC. So you might have had people that have had ambitions since 1999 or 2003, but maybe because of they don't have a godfather or someone that's very influential that's willing to pull them up. You think if not the likes of Fashola, someone in Ambodi, if there was no Tinubu, they would have never emerged as governorship candidates. So that's the freshness about Labour Party. And I've heard this guy's story. Was it Nami that told us Saddam? Like where he's from, they don't get governorship opportunities at all. They don't, he's from a smaller community in Enugu State. So I know some of his answers and some of the answers can be refined, which is why we have to help them also. It's more than just um, saying,
All
oh,
of them won't be orators. Sure, you know
yes,
go.
and we can also help them.
Exactly.
I'm please obedience. When you ask people questions, the goal is not to get a gotcha moment. If they don't answer the question you want them to, why don't you tell them the kind of answer you want to hear? So it's more than just trying to say, oh, just because he didn't answer this question very well, then I don't know what he's doing. No, give them suggestions. These people are learning too. It's going to be a government of the people. They can't. There's no one knows it all. I mean, I remember when. Who remembers when Peter Obi fumbled the
Oh, but
climate,
me,
the
I see
climate,
there.
the
We're gonna
climate
give me
question?
small time. Make I talk now.
Baba, I'll give you. Let me round up. You remember when Peter Obi fumbled the climate question in New York? Who remembers then? When he fumbled the climate
Yep,
question in
yep,
New York.
yep. He
And
got
guess
better
what?
too.
I'm pretty sure people spoke to him, and the next time he was asked that question in Nigeria, it was a different answer. So people, if they don't answer the questions like the way you want, it's not a gotcha. Oh, this guy is not good. No, let's give them suggestion of that kind of answer, or okay, sir, this is how you should answer it. Or this is what I was expecting to hear. Thank you, engineer.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
welcome back, sir.
yeah, thank you guys. In fact, I would like to say I like to freestyle small because I like what's going on here. I've been an activist for a while. In fact, for my youthful age, and then I never saw something like this, and so I'm excited. So I like to freestyle small so that later we can fix another date where we discuss the governance of Bayelsa State. But first, let's discuss this thing, that this fire that have taken us to this point. First, I believe that the issue of obedience should be about competence, character, and capacity to get the job done. I had a meeting yesterday with those who are supposed to be candidates for the elections, believing that I will on my own try to support a few of them. And I was disappointed when I saw the character of some of the persons who said they are going to be candidates. And I banged the table. I stood up and said, look, some of you don't understand the seriousness of what we are doing. You don't understand it. So some of you, they were just the party. On one side is another problem. Labour Party as an institution need cleansing, especially the Labour Party here in Bayelsa. In fact, let me let you know. Most of the parties, apart from the APC and the PDP, it is the government of the day in Bayelsa that determine who the party leaders are. In fact, in my own state, the party chairman is actually an appointee of the government of the day. So you find that now that those people who are supposed to be chairman and escorts of the other parties are all sitting for the government of the day. So before I decided to join the Labour Party, my second journey in Labour Party, I did a critical analysis of all the parties. About 6 of them came to my house to appeal to me to take their form. So as at the time I went to Labour Party, I called the chairman. I said, I know say you be more, but this business that we are in, if you know that it is the role you play, just stay away. Otherwise, the movement is like a moving train, and you find yourself on the corner. You have no choice than to join it. A lot of the issues that we are seeing here is because of the disorganization of the institution. So we need to define who is an obedient and who actually is a Labour Party candidate or member, because the members in so many areas do not even understand the word obedience. I, Udenk Seradiri, believe that obedience has certain qualities that it must resonate with: competence, character, and capacity. And so when I sometimes hear some people say we have to go all the way, you need to see all the way. There are some that you will say no, I will not vote for this person, because in some places people just took these forms. I was asking them questions yesterday. They didn't even understand what was going on. They thought money was being brought from Abuja or somewhere to come and share. The truth is that the political landscape here is far different from the way it is in other parts of the country. And so that peculiarity you must understand in order to deal with the issues here. But above all, I want to commend you guys and say, I wish we will be able to set this kind of hot seat in Bayelsa, where politicians must come to the table and be properly grilled before they are supported. So I thank you and say that, look, I'm open here. whichever questions that you intend to ask, now that we are freestyling, I can answer a few of them, but will honestly demand that the time is also given, because a lot of my audience have left the house. I should be talking to more of a Bayelsa audience, much as I must be grilled by the international um, audience in order to determine whether I resonate with the issues that the obedience stand for. So I'm all here in case we can talk.
Sorry guys, sir, you yourself, are you sure
Yes,
say all that your degree they are original?
me. We don't pass that. We don't pass that level now. You know, say,
No, I've not asked you that.
my
And hold on, please. I've not asked you that
yeah.
question personally. I'm asking you now. Are you certain that they're legit? And when we check, it's gonna be what you say it is.
Yes, like I said, there's a platform that my entire certificates are posted. So it's always there. It's
It,
not today that I selected.
it's not what you posted. I will contact the school, myself. They will give me the original copy of
Inside
it.
this
And if
platform
it's
where they,
not,
I get Uniben people where they there. That's not a problem.
okay, see, that's the thing. I'm not dealing with people. I'm dealing with faculties. I'm dealing with the institution. I go contact them, even if not London. I go reach out to them. That's why I'm asking now. I mean, if you didn't complete it, if you didn't finish up, you can just let us know now. It's nothing. You can still be on on obedient movement. We just actually we're freestyling. I'm just saying this now so we know the kind of person we're supporting. If you say it's your legit, no problem. I'm just saying it because look at the say the guy go Chicago State University and is coming out now. This thing is showing up now, so it's not going to be good, as you getting there as a
I
governor,
think one of the reasons
now
why
start showing all these things.
before I came to violence space, I have followed it for a while. So I know that is a place where I must be. In fact, I came here to be interrogated. So I expect that fact checking. And that's why before now, all my documentation and information have been there in public space. It's left for you to go and find out. Even I expect it by now, you go don't dig in before even we discuss.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Otumba, back to you. I don't know who's going next.
I think let me see. I don't have too many. Well, let's go ask engineer. Okay, I don't know if you wanted to engage, ask him a question with Dr. Dengs. I don't know if you have any questions you want to ask him. Or because I know his election is still in November, so there's plenty of time, sir. Plenty of
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yes, but there's someone I would like you to meet and follow, Max Obesi. Like Max is from Bielsa too, and it will be one of our
Okay.
strongest obedient voices. Yes, Max, request the mic if you have a minute. So, it's okay. Any other questions for engineer before we let him go? Saddam, N6.
Okay,
Engineer,
before
is there
that, let
anything
me
you
let me
anything you
bring
want
one
to say?
issue up.
Okay.
Okay, I'll use the opportunity to thank Bobby Obodo, who has ensured that I was brought to this space. Even before coming here, we've been communicating, and he has been doing a lot of back and front questioning. Look, there's an issue in Bayelsa, and I think that we need to look at it. I just said, let me raise it. One, like I said, the party's loyalty is not to the institution obedience. The party's loyalties are usually to paymasters. And so I had come into this party not expecting what have happened. I think that it is divine that I made the right decision. As at the time I moved to join the Labour Party for this particular election, I believe that the issues in Bayelsa resonate with Bayelsans and not really about what happens in Abuja. Bayelsa has a peculiar problem. And if we don't have the right leadership, no matter who becomes the president, it will not change most things in Bayelsa until you have a governor who understands the issues and begin to deal with them, without fear or favor. And so I moved into this party. From the time I came, when I asked them, they said I hear some people wanted to come and buy the forms, and they were just waiting to see whether Obey will win the election. You are not serious. They had said they were going to close the forms by February February 23rd. We bought the forms. Every other party have closed their forms except Labour Party. And as I speak to you, the government and all the institutions are setting machineries to come and create chaos in this party. I know that they are not going to be contesting. Most of them have not come because of my person, because students have come and they know I fight very well when I get into circles like this. And that's why most people have not come. But look at what happened in River State. If the party had known and closed their forms and dealt with their primaries to close all that, they won't be having this crisis of people coming to claim whether they are candidates, and then we are having two persons, one going to embarrass the party and all that. What they do here is that they send people to go and create problems in the party. And I've told the national as well as the state to say, look, what are we waiting for? We are now the first to reckon with. If anybody is serious, you should come and get the form. If it's not, then we should move on, conduct our primaries so that we can start on time to begin to engage at the community levels. We have 106 wards in Bayelsa and 8 local governments. But these 8 local governments are spread apart in riverine areas. One community, you could spend 3-4 hours from one to the other. I am a man who, while I was Secretary General, I went to every clan in Ijoland. I became president, I did the same thing. For these campaigns, I'm going to reach every corner of the state. But we need to start on time. And to start on time, the party needs to come up with a statement and begin to prepare for an election. And here in Bayelsa, we have the Minister for Petroleum, Minister for State for Petroleum, who is likely to clinch the APC ticket, and then the governor who has been given first right of refusal. So, and I know that I'm going to defeat these two people in the elections because I have the capacity to engage the people. While I was in government positions, people saw what I did very clearly in the state. While I was IYC president, I impacted on lives. Today, the amnesty program has over 30,000 young people who are pilots, who are doctors. I believe that the best a man can do is to add value and to build capacity of human beings. The Maritime University was out of the negotiations that I led with the vice president, then acting president of Nigeria, that saw that the Maritime University kickoff that brought the peace to the Niger Delta. So for me, the bragging rights I have is that I have added value to lives by ensuring that institutions are set in the Niger Delta that develop people. I was in the NDDC for 4 years. There was no scholarship. It was suspended. I ensured that scholarship was revived. And today we have over 200 young people who are prepared to leave the country for further studies. So for me, I've added value to building capacity. And I think that's the way to go in the Niger Delta, because a lot of people are ignorant. And if we need to make progress, then we must invest in education and building capacity. So what I'm saying in essence is the party, we must direct this pressure to the party as well, so that we begin to get the kind of individuals that will resonate with the obedient orientation, the obedient mantra, so that we can achieve what we intend to. Otherwise, as a movement, we have made a lot of progress. As a movement, we have shown capacity to be able to put people into office. Let us not put people into office and then they begin to exhibit the same kind of attitude that those we are running from have been doing, and then in connivance with party structures. So I think that we need to spread the searchlight on the party, grill the party, and then ensure that the right people are manning that institution.
Thank you, Virginia. I think that's why I've encouraged opinions to go and pick up membership forms, become party members, run for position in the party. That I keep saying it. A lot of the Labour Party excos right now should be replaced by support group leaders. A lot of them, and there's a lot more people. And we can be activists all day, but you need a political platform to exert political change. You can't. That's the thing. That's something we've always learned. No, we can't run away from being a party member. We cannot anymore. I know I've been when I say, oh, we don't belong to any party. No, if you want to enact government policies and make changes at the government, you need a political platform to do that. So we can't run away from it. And If we don't want what happened to PDP and APC, especially PDP, happened to Labour Party, where the party gets so big and monstrous and it's hard for any good thing to come out of that party, we need to set the future of Labour Party. And that starts by becoming a member and getting actively involved. At least if you're obedient at this point, you can't run away from it anymore. Thank you so much. Mr. Max, you have questions for Engineer Udengs?
Otumba, Emir Saddam, NSYS, Otumba, thank you for calling me up. I was just quiet there, listening and enjoying this space. um, I don't think I have a question for Mr. Udengs. I try not to comment on his candidature because
Max, you said they're up for governor.
the reason I don't want to comment at the moment is because I am, and this is no reflection on Mr. Odenks, but I am, I'm a bit suspicious of some of the individuals that are now pouring into the Labour Party at the moment. Not and full disclosure, someone added me to a group, a WhatsApp group that's for Mr. Odenks Iradri, but I exited the group because I felt that if I am to join that sort of group, I should have had like prior conversation with him, or someone would have given me a hint of what's going on before added me to the group. So that's why I decided to not to join the group. I exited, but that is not to say that Mr. Odenks is not who he's presented himself to the house that he is. To be honest, is as you have seen, he's such a vibrant gentleman, very articulate. And when Jimmy was asking about his certification, I think we've known him for a long time. In terms of his certification, I don't think we have a problem with that. In terms of whether he's active, I don't think we have a problem with that. In terms of whether he's articulate, I don't think we have a problem with that. In terms of whether he will be able to engage with young people, and I don't have a problem with that. In terms of whether he understands the challenge that Bielsa have, I don't have a problem with that. But my suspicion is that the wave, we are beginning to notice a wave of people who want to contest election coming into Labour Party, and because of that, for that reason, I'm just very quiet, trying to be careful not to jump into any bandwagon. I'm just taking an observer seat at the moment, looking at what they're doing and looking at the characters and trying to ask a few questions because I'm not really on ground these days. But I know what is going on. So that is why I do not want to engage Mr. Odenks, but I'll just put this to the house. I think if we have Saddam, I think once we are done with the governorship election, we'll probably have him on the space where we can engage with him very well, and then on the People's Parliament as well. I'll speak to Omar, and then we'll see if we can have him on the space. But I don't want to make a categorical statement about whether he be whether we should work with him at this point in time or not. But what I would advise is that we would probably appreciate more engagements with him. The Obedient family will probably want to engage more with him, and by engaging, would find a way to work with him if need be. But other than that, I wouldn't want to make further comments. But Mr. Odent, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I think you know me, but you probably wouldn't know that I'm the person speaking.
Okay.
And that's why I decided not to join the group, because I felt that if Mr. Odenks is contesting for governor and he wants my support, I feel that he should be able to message me or speak to me about it, not a random person adding me to a WhatsApp group because they have my number. So that said, it's good to hear your voice. It's good to speak to you. And just to tell everyone on the platform, I am a day one member. I'm an associate. I'm an all-star member of this space, of the violence space. And so I'm using this opportunity to assure all obedience on this space tonight that he's legit. He's very articulate, and he's been one of the leading lights in the Niger Delta struggle. He was the former president of the Ijaw Youth Council. He's someone that the Ijaw Youth Congress. So he's someone that we know very well, and he's someone that has been in that has occupied many positions. He's been a commissioner of environment in the state as well, and he's worked in the NDDC. He's done a lot of things, but then again, that is where I'm very careful. When people who have been in government for so long begin to flock into Labour Party, and this is no reflection to Mr. Odenks again, because I've seen about 2 other people who have run quickly to get the Labour Party form just immediately after the elections, and I'm beginning to wonder what's going on. And this is my general note to everyone. Obedience, you have to go and register in Labour Party. If you do not, Labour Party is a hotcake, and those who are politicians, they understand the need to join the party now and the need to put in their people. If you do not do that, you will see charlatans who come into the Labour Party and hijack this party from you. The only way you can choose who will become your governors in different states is if you are a card-carrying member, and then you become a delegate, depending on what type of election they want to do. You become a delegate, and you'll be able to vote for who becomes your governor. So if you just stay online and want to do this engagement, and you do not make practical steps to be member, to get that membership card and to get involved locally, and then you will begin to see people who come up from nowhere and tell you they want to represent you. And then when you engage them, just like what Mr. Odenks is saying, that when he is engaging some of the people who are now contesting for the House of Assembly seats, it becomes very challenging to engage those kind of people. And you begin to ask yourself the question, are these guys really obedient? Do they understand what the obedient movement is all about? So I'll encourage all of us to get involved, get engaged, and do the grassroots work so that we can get people who are credible. People look at the way Odense was speaking. I think you will enjoy it, so we can get those sort of people who are enlightened, who understand what the core of the obedient movement and the nucleus of the new Nigeria that we're fighting for. Thank you very much, Otumba Hiken.
Yeah, Max. Thank you. I respect your opinion, but please don't. It wasn't meant to disrespect you. Truly, about 10th of February, and then since then, about 15th, I bought my form, and then on the 22nd, I returned it and filled the form and submitted the form, and kept everything quiet till after the elections. So I went in, participated in the labor activities, sponsored road shows to support the candidate, did what I should do as a politician. And after the elections was when things started changing. So if anybody have even come to the party, I am waiting for them. They are yet to come. We're waiting. I started hearing about government plans, which I know I wasn't expecting. Right from day one, everybody knew in Bayelsa that I would contest this governorship from whichever platform. I was in the PDP. I had an issue with the sitting governor, and I left. In fact, I was the PDP man when I was appointed into APC government to go and solve a problem in the Niger Delta. When they were appointing an interim management for NDDC. Government felt that there would be uprising. And then they said they needed somebody to solve the problem. I was in South Africa when I was called to say, I need to come to Nigeria. I came in on the Tuesday, 3 persons put me in a plane straight to Port Harcourt to the guy's office and said, look at the person with that can do this job. The guy asked for my CV, I gave, and that was how I started. Then APC started the conflict. I have come to take their job. If you look at my resignation from the PDP, which I put up on the social media, was that look, I have been called for national service, and I consider national service more important than my personal interests, and so I cannot be in one party and be serving a federal government of APC. Therefore, I thank the PDP for the opportunity, and I left. And for me, it was one of the best things for me was the exposure in government. If I didn't go in as a commissioner, I wouldn't have understood the depth of neglect in government. If you go and check my records as commissioner for youth, you will see that when I came, I did things differently. My presence in that government was the reason why I was moved to the Ministry of Environment. And in 5 months, I was commissioner for environment. The records are there. So when I went to NDDC2, I saw the rot in the system. If we don't deliberately move into political space, we will just be activists on the streets, just as I was in the past. The Joy Youth Council, I saw it, or we negotiated 4 presidents in this country where I had sat down to negotiate the peace process of the Niger Delta, issues about development in the region. But I was seeing it from the activist perspective. But when I went into government, I now saw the nakedness of neglect. Moving around the Niger Delta, I've seen how government completely abandoned the institutions. So I took the conscious decision to say I must move into government. And I've not been in government for up to 5 years because I was employed as a commissioner in 2018. And so all this while I've been doing activism and my business from university to the streets and the Niger Delta, then went into government. So that burning desire to take the leadership, because if you are not on the driving seat, you cannot solve these problems. No matter how, look, there are certain memos I sent to the former governor, but because he didn't understand it, because he was not seeing it from where I was seeing it, we couldn't sail through. But if I'm governor, I already know that I'm going to take X, Y, Z steps. And I started from day one. So when the Minister for Petroleum interest started coming up, I engaged them. I said, me, I cannot fight with you people. You people have all the money. You people have everything. But I will meet me in the field. And I left the party to look for the platform. I didn't just jump to Labour Party because there were fortunes here. No, I chose the party because amongst all the presidential candidates, I saw Peter Obi as a man who resonated with the ideas that I think will suit for a truly transformational leadership. And that's why I went to pitch my tent there, knowing fully well that I was going to a den of government moles. So for me, I didn't come because there was one fortune for me to come and benefit. I would say that God just smiled on me to say that the party turned out the way it has happened because of the resilience of you guys and every other person that decided that it was time for us to say we are no longer eating food but sand and revolt against it. So that same energy is what I'm trying to manage because I know my people. This circumstances here is peculiar. I need to manage it to ensure that that fire does not die because I don't have the resources they have. I'm just an engineer. From the profit I make is what I have used to fund myself in most of these positions I found myself. So, but I know that if I reach out to the conscience of the people, no matter how much, I did it in 2011. They brought money, 50,000. But because I spoke to the conscience of the people, they some of them took this money, some of them rejected it and voted against a sitting House of Rep member. I know that the government have failed. It is the tool with which I'm going to win this election. I know that the candidates they will bring, I will engage them, use my past records in public space to engage them. And that's why I've come here, to be a better person, to be grilled, to be properly scrutinized, so that it betters me when I leave this point. I see this platform as a blast furnace, where by the time I'll be coming out at the other end, I'll be a refined product. That's why I'm here. People know that there's a violent space, but how many people will take the courage to source for how to get in there and present himself to be scrutinized? The fellow was asking for my documents. Just give me your email. I will send you all the certificates so that it is easier. You can see the address, everything on it. I will send you now, before we finish talking, the certificates. Now, once I send you my CV, it carries all my certificates attached to it. Both the ones I mentioned and the ones I did not mention. So it gives you the ample starting point to dig, because yes, we must dig. It's usually embarrassing that at the end of the day, you start talking about certificate about a leader. A man who is supposed to be leading you is having a deficiency that ordinarily should have been done with way back. That tells a lot about the character of the individual. What was he doing when he should have been sitting in class? If he didn't sit in class, it therefore means that he's going to be looking for how to pilfer government. And people used to say, then what's the guarantee that you will not abuse office? I used to tell them, before I got into government position, I had traveled everywhere in the world except Australia. What are the things that excite politicians? Build house, marry a woman, buy a car, travel, enjoy all those frivolities. I have, as a young boy, passed through all those processes without getting close to government. I've even pledged to my people that I will not even stay in government house. When I was commissioner, I was given a brand new building. I gave it to coppers because my grandmother used to say the sleep that will catch you when you sleep on a golden bed is the same that will catch you when you sleep on a mat. So why should I go and be one? In any case, my house is even more comfortable than government house. So why should I be worried about those things? So for me, I have seen a lot of things, added value to lives. Of course, I have capacity. If I don't make it today, I will go and face my business and continue. But I would have tried, because if I go to heaven and God asks me, then what did you do when your state was going through this mess? And I say, no, I was afraid. I didn't have money. I didn't know what to do. I'll go to hell. God will send me straight to hell. But if I say, Baba God, I tried, but I didn't make it. So this is my boy, enter heaven, go and enjoy. That's my belief. And I will not rest until I take leadership from these people. They are consolidating incompetence day by day. The leader is incompetent. He appoints incompetent people. They consolidate community governance structures with incompetence. They consolidate commissioners with incompetence. The representatives with incompetence. You can imagine where the state will be going to. And so I have a driving spirit to stop them, and I know I can do it. Labour Party.
Thank you, Engineer Thanks. Otumba, I think, Saddam, one of the key takeaways and one of the things that I would appreciate from, hearing Mr. Oden speak is his willingness to engage. If you recall, some of the Labour Party candidates, we have to drag them to spaces, we have to even call for them. But the fact that he's willing to engage, he's ready to engage, and you could see that the desire to want to engage us is something that I find very commendable, and I think it's something that we should sort of encourage, this desire to engage with us, because at the end of the day, this engagement is what makes you a better person. For instance, the Labour Party governorship candidate from Enugu that just engaged with us, he got some feedbacks that he's not been able to do well in some aspect, especially when it comes to his public image, that his PR guys have not done enough, or he has not done enough in terms of selling himself on the social media. So um, I'm grateful, Mr. Odenks, and I hope that you take this as some sort of feedback. Your desire to engage, your desire to talk about the issues, your desire to talk about the problem is something that I find very comforting, and I find I actually like it, to be honest, and that is to say the least. I'd leave I don't know if anyone else would probably have further questions, so I'll let Otumba do his thing. I can see Savik and Joe the Obedience. They're ready to engage, and I think Mr. Odenks is equal to the task. So I'll just leave it for those who want to ask questions and those who want to engage him further. But I just wanted to put this out there that I. I find it very welcoming that we see a candidate that is not just young, but he knows what the job is about, and is willing to engage with us, and is willing to take the question, is willing to come to the lions den as it is to discuss this issue with us. And that's what makes him a better candidate as well, because when he comes here, he'll be able to get some sort of things, tell him that, oh, this is what you did that I didn't find very welcoming, and he's been able to take that. And I think moving on, he will be able to know that, okay, these are the things that I can do to put myself out there more. So I think that this desire to engage, this desire to solve problems, this desire to talk about the issue is some of the things that we need to encourage. And we hope that Labour Party candidates in every other states or everywhere around the country, that they see this, they see the desire to talk to Obedience on Twitter or different platform as the best way to engage with their constituents, or the best way to engage with Nigerians. And I hope, and I seriously hope, because I spoke to a candidate that is running for the House of Assembly in Bielsa today, and she did a radio program that I listened to, because they streamed it, and I said to her that I like what you've done, but one of the things that I'm going to tell you is that when you get to the House of Assembly, do not stop doing this. I want you to keep on engaging the people and talk to them like this, because this is the only way you will know about the problems of the people. So, Mr. Odengs, I would, my advice to you is that this public engagement, um, this public discussions that we're having, I hope and I pray that it doesn't stop here. When you get the tickets, when you become the governor, whichever way it is, continue to engage with the people, continue to engage with Obedience. The nucleus, I mean, the foundation of the Obedient movement is social media, to be honest. The foundation of the Obedient movement is social media. And one of the mistakes that people will do is when, and this is the advice I've given to the even people that have gotten tickets, that are now have gotten their certificate of return for House of Reps and Senate. The greatest mistake that they will make is to go to the National Assembly and then forget where they are coming from. You forget to come back to engage with Obedience online. You forget to come back to talk to Obedience, to know where the problem is, to know the things that they are meant to do. Once you stop doing that, then you are now alienating yourself from your family. And I hope that you take this is a lesson that you can take, and this is a lesson that will help you build your campaign, build your candidature, and make you a better person. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on. Thank you, Max. Savik, you want to come in here, or Joel the Obedient? Joel, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening, engineer. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Just like a submission, sir. To Obedience, there's something that, first of all, to the candidate, you should know that if you are not online, just know for a fact that if you don't have online presence, one of your opposition is going to pay an online influencer to take you down online. Look for anything to just make sure you are not voted So try as much as possible to get someone you have access to. It's what the Enugu man has been experiencing online. I'm glad he's available now, and I hope he pushes people to get it. Obedience. There's something that is going to be used as a narrative that has been used as a narrative that you hear that, oh, the Labour Party person in this state is a stooge of the governor or is a boy of the governor. I say it with experience, and I'm sure anybody that has had access to wealth will say it to that. Wealth and power changes a man. If you make a candidate a stooge of the governor in another party, the moment he becomes governor, I bet you power will corrupt him and that his former organ will quarrel. So bring them, reel them in, give them power. Will cause problem between them and their organ. Anyhow it is, but let's give Labour Party power everywhere. I continue to say this, that the opposition parties, these people that we call our enemies of Nigeria, they rig election primarily using governors. They fund their elections using governors. So let's take out their source of food. Give us the governors. Let's have the governors. When they get into our camp, we'll get used to, we'll know how to manage them. Finally, sir, there's something that you never really spoke about. I'm from the Niger Delta, and there's something you really, really never spoke about, knowing that you'll be going into campaign soon. The militants of the Niger Delta. I understand that you did what you did what was the word? What was it? You said you did a course on
Yeah.
sorry,
No, several
conflict
leadership
resolution, conflict resolution, or
resolution.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you're involved
negotiation
with
skills.
yeah, and you're involved with them directly. And me, I know that
Yeah.
if you're the incumbent and you're running for office, militants might not be a problem. But coming to take over from the incumbent, how do you plan to handle militancy in not just your Bielsa, in Niger Delta during elections? Because we hear things like the Creek votes. We have people like what's this national clown's name? That's is it Asari or so? We have those people that run across states. They have a cabal across three major states: Rivers, Delta, and Bayelsa. And you are running for Bayelsa. How do you hope to handle them during elections while running for
Okay.
office?
Nice question. See, the militants are still human beings from communities. Engagement. I've engaged in the past, and I will continue to engage them. I tell you a story. Somebody called me recently and said I was to be killed. They brought my picture. I said, oh boy, me, bless it, find out the person we they call. First, where is your camp? Let me come to the place. When I was Secretary General, I had structures everywhere. There was nowhere that you will bring those kind of threats that we don't understand how to engage. Look, these people, there is poverty in our land. The issue of engaging them for election is not an issue. I will deal with it. If I, at this level, cannot handle those kind of things, then I'm not even fit to be governor in the first place. And let me tell you, this obedience something. Me, I not be kulu temper person. Let me just make it clear. I'm not the type that will say, oh, when he come, then come shoot gun. So me, I will, how am I going to put it? During the primaries, we had issues where there was a known thug in the state that was always creating problems. When we're doing the Labour Party, I contested Labour Party, PDP primaries. And there was a standoff in the town. And when I was invited by the DSS, they asked me, say I was involved. I said, I was former IYC president. I was not a charity organization president. Neither was I a Bible class president. Now election at the contest. When I lost the Labour Party 2011, I said because I did not give my children guns to shoot other people, I will not use arms. And I saw how I lost that election before my eyes. Election that I won, they were in calculation center. Soldiers came, abused boys, scattered the whole place. That election, even when I went to court, it was my election that thugs first invaded court. From government house, information came that look, then as you are submitting that your file, they are sending boys. Policemen escorted thugs to the federal court premises, went in, destroyed all the fires. But because I had the information, I had called the court and had the bailiff to move my files. While I was going there, I went with AIT to show that yes, I was going to present my case. I have gone through a lot. I understand these things. I can deal with them. I will not allow for people to use some of those machineries against me, and then I will go and be crying in the corner. That kind of thing no go happen. One, I can deal with that. Youth, I engage them. Once I become governor, I will create the jobs to engage them. I will go to every stakeholder and talk to them and present my manifesto to them. I have done it before as IYC president. I engaged these boys. I created livelihoods for them. And so they know I am not a novice in the business. So I can deal with that. Let's leave that as it is. The other question was about, what was the other question? If anybody can remind me. What was the other one?
Question, but a follow up to what you just said now. I think Bayelsa has elections on the 18th too. Hope you are sorting out these same problems for the candidates in 18. Even if you have said that some of them are these or that, it's the same fear we had for a lot of candidates. You have to reel them in. If there are any issues that they will have, please, you have to help them sort out. So the question is, hope you are sorting out all these militants because you need them to run your governorship election.
Yes, I am sorting those things out. In fact, today I had a meeting with one of the candidates in the hot spots. By tomorrow, by weekend, I will be going to see some persons. Look, I have played major roles in bringing peace to Nigeria. The amnesty was a role that I was secretary of the committee. If you look at my resume, you see secretary of the Peace and Economic Development Committee of Bayelsa. I was the main secretary of that committee. I played major roles. I have played major roles in disarming a lot of communities. Young boys took over proper community, killed people there. Nobody was in the community. I went in there to talk to them, disarm them, and then allow government agencies to go in and restore peace. On several occasions, I've been involved in settling a lot of things. People who have been kidnapped, who have released. We've done a lot of things that have given me some experience and exposure to how to deal with some of those structures. Being Secretary General of the Joint Council during MEND resolved that problem, and then being President of the Joint Council while Avengers was ravaging the country's economy. I played key roles. The current security of the Niger Delta pipelines, I am playing key roles. Played key roles in the beginning and also still playing roles in ensuring that this oil is flowing for the government to even see money to run the country. So I can deal with that. But like I said, I engage most of the candidates. These candidates were placeholders, some of them. Some of them didn't even buy the form, which I found out yesterday. They were just placeholders. And that's why I'm saying that the obedient movement must migrate to the party. Right now, the obedient and the party are two parallel lines. The party is another institution, the obedient movement is on their own. This movement must begin to be visible to the point where they go in and fully take over the party and begin to bring some sanity. I was in a party secretariat yesterday for meetings with candidates, and I had to stand up to address them. But I know that there's something lacking. The capacity and competence of the party institution is lacking hugely. So most of the job that has been done by the obedient is being sabotaged by the party structures. For instance, the party is the one that INEC relates with respect to results from the polling units. How many of those party agents actually brought those results? We're having issues of collating some of those results because some of the infractions were done with connivance of party institutions because they did not understand the obedience, as it were. Some of the agents, our own agents, are holding results saying that because the money they released did not get to them, they will not release it. And I asked him, do you understand the essence of this movement in the first place? So we have all those kind of issues, and that's why going forward, I'm just waiting to cross this party primaries issue. As we speak, nobody has bought form apart from myself. They are all waiting for their masters to release the money. The individual they want to send from government, the government too, to release the money, they are skeptical whether these students will not go and waste this our money. So nobody have bought the form till now. And that's why I'm saying, if I were a party institution, I would have closed it. Because we are the third force. We cannot allow our flanks open for infiltrators to come in and begin to create all kinds of distractions while the leading party is sailing ahead in an election. So why are we still open if APC have closed, PDP have closed, and then we that is supposed to be the main force on ground, we are still open sales of our forms that we are looking for money. Looking for which money? Money at the expense of the strength of the party. So, but that is a calling for the party institution to make. I've made my reservation, but let it not look as if, oh, I'm afraid of primaries. I've defeated, when I was a young boy and a nobody, I defeated the banker and a renowned lawyer. To put their votes together, I beat them times two in an open election, option A4. So I'm not afraid of it. I'm already preparing for a primaries. But at the end of the day, with the way it's going, I may be the only person that bought the form that will go and stand at the primary. So if that's the case, why are we now still leaving it open? Because if we leave it open, these infiltrators will come in. They are not coming to contest elections. They are coming to create the distractions that will keep the party busy while elections are going on. I am a candidate to beat in Bayelsa State. I'm not saying this because I'm here on this platform. You can do your assessment. But I also need the institutions to also give some form of shielding and backing. Because at this point, I seem to be the one that is carrying the party on my head. So if we don't take over the party as obedient so that we can begin to resonate the ideals of the movement into the party structure. Because if we agree that, for me, I believe that resource control is government. Go and take government and use it to do those things you have been complaining about. We can't be complaining and not take it. So, but if we are going to take it, the institution or that we are going to drive with must be sane. That institution must be devoid of these same elements that have dragged this country to where it found itself. I had to go into government just to understudy, check my records. I keep saying the generator in the Ministry of Youth is my property. There was no light when I even got to that place. I had to buy a generator. When I went to the Ministry of Environment, there was no light for 4 years. I said I won't leave that place till there was light. That day, I put on the light. So they are owing me in government. My enumeration for NDDC, the last November, December, I wasn't paid. I'm still asking them, I'm not going to pay me the one I've even worked for. So you will never find my name involved in any stain. I keep challenging, and I will challenge again on this platform. Anybody who has any iota of embezzlement or mismanagement of resources, then's name was found, come out. Not one that somebody sit and say, no, these students don't eat our money. I'm challenging it today. Nobody have come out. I said it on radio. I said it on any platform I find myself. I'm saying it on this platform again. If you know, say I don't chop your money before or I've been involved in dubious character, come out and say it. So, my brother, the word I'm saying in essence is obedience, character, number one, competence. These things, we must ensure that it is resonating in the party so that that becomes the yardstick for which we begin to prepare. Because for me, I'm looking ahead for the next elections. In looking ahead, then we must have governors who understand. We must have a National Assembly, thank God we have them, who understand the issues. Then there must be proper engagement, continuous engagement, so that people begin to understand when they see leaders every time. The way I used to strengthen solidarity in the IYC, in University of Benin, and every organization I have held is that I hold constant meetings to get feedback and review issues before we set timelines and say, okay, between XYZ time, we are going to achieve this. We set our KPIs and ensure that we follow them religiously. Constant engagement. Even a man who used to steal, because every day you are coming to talk against it, before you know, he will begin to change. And I will give you, before I will allow the house, one last thing. When I was in the Ministry of Environment, inspection officers go out and they collect 2,000. They don't even come to work. But when I came to the ministry, first, I gathered them and I spoke to their conscience. That's why in my agenda, I said people first. PEAP, people, education, agriculture, and power. People first. You must get the people to understand. You must get the people to be prepared to see your vision. So I brought the people, I spoke to them. When I had a task force that was going to inspect the kind of food that was sold in the market, in the supermarket. A lot of fake items in Bayelsa supermarkets. Maggi is fake in Bayelsa. Coke is fake. You buy a conditioner, is fake. You buy a spirit, you are killing yourself. And so I was closing down these supermarkets. When I went to court with them, the court said we didn't have a lab to test those things. So I had to put that in the budget. But what I was doing was bringing these items back, calling all these inspection officers, ministry officers to sit and say, do you know the Maggi that your house get bought today? So you must stop taking money. And I saw a huge success by always relating with the people and talking about the ills of what they do, going to take money, forgetting that that item that you have allowed to enter this town will go get back to your kitchen. Diaper, children's diaper, oil, red oil. Nigerians are using dye to deceive people. And then a lot of people are having kidney problems and here and there. The reasons why I'm contesting this election are pains that I have. Otherwise, I face my engineering practice. I'm not doing badly. I pay tax in Bayelsa. I have over 40 staffs that survive from my activities in Bayelsa. I've been involved in a lot of construction activities. I can as well take care of my children, take care of myself. But when the revolution will start, I will be one of the victims, because look at the answers. Even those who were in the answers, the movement was going to destroy their properties. Success became the enemy. How you succeeded doesn't really matter to the angry young people that will be on the streets. So the earlier we take leadership and begin to change the course of history, the better for all of us. Hello, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Otumba, are you there?
I'm here, I can hear you.
All right, let's take Rita NG.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Rita.
Can you hear
Welcome.
me?
We can hear you perfectly. Continue with your submission.
Yeah, go on.
All right, thank you, guys. I ought to be sleeping by now, but it's okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys, for all you're doing. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
I
just want to
can't
say,
hear. I don't know what's going on.
who can hear me? But, Caesar, can you hear me, please? But it's okay. Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue.
Thank you.
Can you imagine?
Thank you guys for all you're doing. Thank you, everybody, thank you very much. Being here. So, I'm hearing myself. Who can hear me? But, Caesar, I'm
can you
hearing
hear me,
myself
please?
back, please.
Yes, we can hear you. Continue. Saddam, can you hear me?
Go on, Rita,
Okay,
please.
cool. Have we sorted out the person who had the distortion?
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I just want to say here that personally, I know no other Labour Party contestant apart from our principal and his vice. The only person I know is Rose Vival. But I am voting LP from top to bottom because our principal have said we should do that. And I am doing it with every fiber of my being because I know that our slogan is go and verify. That as many people I will cast my vote for to win, should they go there and misbehave after 4 years, if they can open their mouth to say go and verify, and then me as an obedient person, I can't go there, go look, I not can they see waiting I they see. The same energy I used to vote them in, I will use it to vote them out. My polling unit in the just concluded election The House of Rep member, my side, the person won. He win. I know Noam. I know Noam until just how many days ago somebody posted and I saw the polling, as in the local government, the polling. I was like, oh, my person be this one. He's a barrister. I do not know him, but I voted because my principal said, do it. I trust his judgment. And from for the movement, for all as in coming from where we're coming from, I know that our principal is a man. When we talk to, when we complain, he listens. A good example is that of the youth leader in LP that we invited, and he was talking as if he gave us data and phone to come and sit down and listen to him. When we complained, we had a different. He was changed. So, long story short, I am advising everyone here to do what we need to do, just like people have asked us to do, because at the end of the day, if they can't tell us to go and verify, which is the reason, the main reason why we're clamoring for our principal, why we followed him, why we called on him, why we got to where we are right now, and we're still moving further by God's grace, at the end of 4 months, we'll vote them out. So no matter anything anybody comes here to tell me, even if you don't come here to tell me anything, my principal have said, vote LP all the way. And that's what I'm going to do. So it is on you right now. It is on you as the contestant. It is on you, the man whose mantle is being given on the platter of gold, to do what you need to do. Some years ago, I got a job. I don't really have all the experiences that I need, but because I was willing to learn, at the time I tendered my resignation letter, the company were like, I was like, I had to go. So we are entrusting you with this mandate. So it will be up to you to deliver, or you will be ready to move with your paper bag or whatever, because we will throw you out. With the same energy we are using to put you guys in now, we will use the same energy to throw you out. You see the time right now, we are still up because we need our nation to work. So anybody, when we put for them with our money, with our time, with our energy, do well, we will throw you out. We go, oh boy, you better begin if you don't know what to do, you better start asking questions. Because this energy, in fact, the energy say when I go use it go double. Because for the first time in my entire life, I am campaigning for the first time. I am putting my money where my mouth is. I am using my time. So nobody should make fool of that, because it's not going to happen. Okay? Thank you very much for the opportunity. I yield the mic. And good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my sister. Well stated.
That's putting
And I
their
think it's
foot to
well
the
noted.
fire. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's move on. I think, engineer, I don't think we'll be wrapping up the space real soon, but let's try and take as much speakers as we can right now. All right, AGK, may please come in here.
Thank you very much.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah,
Yes,
you're
I can.
audible, sir, but please, you can mute. Somebody is speaking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. I've been on the space since we started, been on and off because I'm at work. But however, it's been a very interesting space. I was listening to Honorable Edoga, brilliant guy. I think we have done so much as to tell him to improve his public image, and that's really something that we need to do very well. He needs to do very well. Now that we're talking about the candidate of Bayelsa, the honorable, my question is simple. What is he going to do to make sure that